Do you clip this in somewhere or leave it on the table?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park in Campbellville, Ontario, getting set for another busy day of baby races. 14 coming your way today for the colts and geldings on both the trot and the pace. We are under overcast skies right now, but mainly clear, not much wind to speak of, and the temperature is going to hover right around that 20-degree mark throughout most of the morning. They are expecting rain this weekend, so hoping we can certainly beat that here this morning as we welcome you back for another edition of the baby races. As mentioned, we're very busy today, so we brought in some extra help. We've got Robert Reed Jr. Joining me on the desk today. We'll, of course, catch up with Mark McKelvey, who will call the action in just a few minutes. But Robert, for the folks that I'm sure recognize you, but maybe aren't 100% sure what you do day to day, tell us what you're up to this season.
Well, right now I'm still the author of the Horse Players Journal at Mohawk Park, so I'm writing that 5 days a week, trying to give out lots of winners in that journal. And now I picked up a new gig, being the on-air handicapper for Grand River Raceway, which has just been a fantastic experience. A lot of fun working with Gary Guy and the team there at Grand River. Every night we try to identify value, real-time handicapping, which is one of my strengths, and having a ball doing it.
That's awesome. And through the wonders of modern technology, you're able to do that again remotely from home, right?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I get to sit in my office. I had to lock out my little guy. We had to put a lock on the office. He's 4 years old. He loves horse racing. He wants to be in there with me, but we've had to put a lock on the door. But yeah, it's been a fantastic experience so far. And listen, it's a pleasure to be here today. I was thrilled when I got the call. I get to work with you guys, and of course I was told to say this, but I feel like I'm sitting next to the Howard Cosell or Bob Costas of harness racing today, because I've looked up to you for a very long time, and you do fantastic work, and it's really an honor to be here, Greg.
All right, I'll give you that $20 after. Thank you. Very much. Great to have you with us today, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a busy morning, a lot to get through, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't just talk quickly about how nice it's going to be to finally see some fans back on site at racetracks here in Ontario beginning next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. You know, I definitely am going to have to get out with the family. It's been too long. This is actually my first time at a racetrack in as long as I can remember. So walking in today, it was a really nice feeling seeing horses on the track live, up close and personal.
Yeah, there really is nothing like it. And on that note, that is the subject of our poll question today. Make sure you submit your answer. Also comment, let us know where you're watching from today. As always, we really would love to hear from you. And a little bit of an added bonus today, our friends from Winback Farm have graciously donated 5 baseball caps. So we're going to draw 5 names at random from all of our commenters later on today. We'll post the names, and you'll all be getting a Winback Farm baseball cap. So thanks to Pat Woods and the gang there for helping us out this morning. So there's our poll question. You know, how likely are you to attend racing when it returns? And we're thinking next week on Canada Day, as early as that we'll see some fans back in attendance. Are you very likely to be out right away? A maybe, or unlikely until things open up a little bit more? Let us know in the comment section, and we'd love to hear from you as always. So a busy morning today, 14 races in total, some new faces, we'll talk about those, but some high-profile youngsters returning to action as well this week. And let's give you a look at some of those return winners from a week ago. And a couple of Bettor's Delight offspring will be among them. Up the Creek, who was impressive at 58-4, and Silk Road Smash. And Robert, I thought the most impressive of the winners a week ago, or certainly one of the most impressive, winning from off the pace for the Gallucci Millar Farms connection.
Yeah, going away winner, and nice kick in the stretch. I was very impressed myself with that one. And you know, in watching these races, we're always looking at the winners, Greg, but I'm also looking at the ones that might be getting an education out there as well. So that's something to keep an eye on today. Absolutely.
So, and it'll be fun. We saw some horses that I think had high hopes coming into last week's session that were handled conservatively, I would say, just out more for educational purposes and not really that concerned about speed. And we'll watch them today to see if they step up here in week 2 in the speed department. Well, the man who will call the action today is Mark McKelvey, and we're going to catch up to Mark here in a moment, and he'll be doing some double duty again for us upstairs today. And I know he, like I'm sure some of our viewers today, pretty excited at that hockey result last night. How about those Montreal Canadiens? I mean, it's impressive what they're doing, and I would not have called this when the NHL playoffs started.
No, not at all. And last week I saw some people saying we need to slow down the Habs references, but I say, you know what, we need to use more of them today, because they've now transcended the sport of hockey and making worldwide sports news and what they've accomplished. Incredible achievement. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, and our producer, Curtis McDonald, he wanted to roll in the Habs goal song, and he wanted to use graphics and everything. We had to talk him out of that, Mark, and glad we did. For us Leaf fans, this is an absolute nightmare what's happening.
Pretty much. I guess the only thing I continue to think about is the fact that over the last however many months, 18 months, we've just seen the world change. So I think it's all just a real bad nightmare, and one day we'll wake up and none of this actually happened. But hey, kudos to the Montreal Canadiens. That's a team that has bought into a system, and they've shut down 3 real strong offenses in a row. So we'll see what happens. And there's a big Game 7 coming up tonight. They'll find out who they're facing, and if they're facing the Tampa Bay Lightning, I mean, that's the strongest offense to try and shut down, so that'll make for a real fun series to watch. But Curtis, behind the scenes there in the truck, I was going to bring him in a Shea Weber mini stick from Tim Hortons this morning, but apparently they were all sold out, so everybody must be on the Habs bandwagon.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't it be interesting to see an Islanders Habs final? A little bit of throwback to the dynasties of the 70s and 80s, but yeah, we'll know after tonight. Mark, when you look at today's 14-race session, what are some of the things you're looking forward to most this week?
I guess overall, not even necessarily pinpointing specific horses, but just the fact that the OSS season starts basically next week, a week tonight. So when you think about the fact that, we're now 7 days out for a lot of these horses before their first stakes engagement, I think today's going to be a make or break day for several of them, where it's no longer educating, but more ramping it up and seeing what they've got ability-wise. So I think today, we'll see a little more aggressive approaches from some of them compared to what we saw over the last couple of weeks, and should make for an entertaining morning. It's all the Colts and geldings. We saw the fillies yesterday, and keep in mind too that we had our first 2-year-old races last night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and that was a lot of fun to see, because if you've been joining us over the last couple of weeks on COSA-TV, you got to see a couple of performers that we had highlighted that really stepped up and delivered. So, continue to watch today and make your own notes as you go along, because there could be some good, and Robert, you'd love this, some good wagering opportunities if you can catch one here today that really catches your eye and maybe you can cash in on next week.
All right, thank you, Mark. Our eye in the sky today. Have a good afternoon, and we'll catch up with you between races here this morning. Let's give you a look at the field for our first of 14 qualifiers this morning, and we'll kick things off with a group of trotters. So again, the focus is on the boys, the Colts and geldings, and we will have a field of 7 here in the opening contest. Beyond the Storm, the number 1 in the field, will be handled by Sylvain Filion for conditioner Steve Bossens. And Steve's a guy that doesn't race on this circuit on a regular basis, but over the years, when you see him come here with a horse, he's ultra competitive, and especially with trotters. A lifetime 360 training average and almost $5 million in training wins for the Bossens barn. So I think this youngster's worth a look here for his longtime owner Steve Palermo of Etobicoke, a Cadabra offspring, and the late great Cadabra, but we're still going to see his offspring, I'm sure, very prominent again this season, like they always have been.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. And this horse is a $12,000 yearling purchase at Harrisburg, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Strong connections here. I certainly want to see how this one does.
And you said, as we got here today, when you watch the baby races, you're looking at it from a little bit of a different perspective. You're looking at certain trainers, certain drivers, and how they educate horses, and trying to keep an eye on them. with an eye toward their first start or two and trying to find maybe a wagering opportunity. And one of the drivers, you said that you really like the patience and the way he teaches horses in these races is Sylvain Filion, who will be on the one.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's from someone who does spend their days handicapping and wagering on harness racing. I like to look at the horses that might be getting an education out there, and Sylvain seems to try to preserve as much as he can while still getting a solid result in these baby races and in the qualifying events for aged horses. So he's one I'll be keeping a close eye on today, and I think that we'll see quite a few that will be ones you might want to circle for a possible wagering opportunity in their first start out.
So several in here are coming back for a second week, including Field of Force, the number 2, a Resolve gelding. Blake McIntosh, James McDonald teaming up here. Blake's been on a really good roll, the barn has. And this one looked really good last week in the qualifier. Came from a long way back at the half.
Yeah, only ended up getting beat ahead, and I thought James had a nice hold on this one too under the wire, which is another driver that I like to keep an eye on in these baby races and in qualifying events. I'm sure Blake's thrilled with the Habs going to the Stanley Cup Finals, by the way.
Oh, yes. Thankfully, things are going well for him on the racetrack because, in the hockey department, he would not be happy these days. So again, there's a look at the field. We just had a look at that one a moment ago. Ben Bayerjean, one of the certainly most successful trainers on this circuit in recent years, excuse me, especially on the trotting side, sends out the Royalty for Life called Royal Champagne. This will be our first look at this one. First foal from the Muscle Hill mare Southwind Champagne. And Bayerjean coming off a career best season. Robert, last year, 124 wins and almost $3 million in purse winnings. Yeah,
he's certainly someone that you can go to the bank on in many of these events, especially when he sends out younger horses with ability. And this one here was a $19,000 yearling purchase at the Ontario Select Sale. So, it'll be interesting to see what this one does.
So just about set to go, moments away from the first of 14 this morning. And maybe we'll send it up right now to Mark McKelvey. Mark, it looks like they're getting ready to assemble behind the gate for today's opener.
Owned by Stephen Palermo, trained by Steve Bossens. Sylvain Filion will drive, a $12,000 Harrisburg purchase. Number 2 is Field of Force, gelded son of Resolve, owned by Steve Heimbecker, Van Camp Trotting Corporation. Blake McIntosh the trainer. James McDonald's in the sulky. This was a $22,000 Lexington buy. 3 is Scratch, 4 is Royal Champagne, a Royalty for Life colt, owned by Glengate Farms and Ben Bayerjean. Ben Bayerjean the trainer, Mario Bayerjean your driver, $19,000 Ontario Select purchase. 5 is Kilimanjaro, a Prestidigitator colt, owned by Bloomingwood Farms Limited, also the breeders. Greg McNair, your trainer. Doug McNair will drive. 6, Give Me Carrots K, is an Encore colt, owned by Winning Key Incorporated. Paul Reed trains, Scott Young drives. And the 7 is Living on the Rail, a Muscle Mass colt, owned by Steve Heimbecker, Paul Kelly, Aaron Byron, your trainer driver, a $30,000 Harrisburg buy. So the starting gate's in motion. Sitting in the low 20s, the temperature here for qualifiers. Track is fast. Wind likely won't be too much of a factor here early on. Number 1, Beyond the Storm, in the debut is well back. The other 5 are up on the gate. And they're off and trotting in the Friday morning opener. And a couple of them flashing early speed from the center. Kilimanjaro shaking that head a little bit, but is going to stride out to the top. Field of Force at the inside, second, and then third is Give Me Carrots K. Living on the Rail will move over to the rail. Then it's back to Royal Champagne and well back to Beyond the Storm as they go into the first turn. Couple of lengths up front here for Kilimanjaro and Doug McNair. Opening panel, 30-1. So the trotters move into the backstretch, and they are following the son of Prestidigitator. This is Kilimanjaro. Made a break before the start in his qualifying debut back on June 19th.
He leads this one by about 4 lengths as they go by 3/8. Feel the Force is in second. Then Give Me Carrots K in third. Living on the Rail is fourth. Back to Royal Champagne. And pulling up was Beyond the Storm. And he'll try it again on another day. They approach the half, and Kilimanjaro takes them past the midway point in 101 and 1. The lead shrinks a little bit, down to a couple of lengths for Kilimanjaro. Feel the Force is in second. Then it's a break of 5, back to Give Me Carrots K in third. Living on the Rail is fourth, and fifth is Royal Champagne. Rookie trotters go by 5/8, and the leader continues to be Kilimanjaro. The homebred for Bloomingwood Farms Limited leads it by almost 3. Feel the Force, the gelded son of Resolve. Tries to inch in a little closer. Give Me Carrots K has picked it up there in third. 131 for 3/4, so they ramped it up. 29 and 4. They're into the stretch. Kilimanjaro drifts out a little bit. Give Me Carrots K will try to step around on the far outside and looking to come up. A wide open rail is Feel the Force. Living on the Rail back there in fourth. Kilimanjaro still with the lead. Off stride went Give Me Carrots K. Up the inside, Feel the Force. Kilimanjaro out in the center of the track still holds the advantage. Coming to the line, Kilimanjaro wins it. Feel the Force was second. Living on the Rail was third. Off stride, Give Me Carrots K. And then Royal Champagne was fifth. 201 and 1 for Kilimanjaro.
A nice bounce-back win there for Kilimanjaro, the son of Prestidigitator, who made the miscue prior to the start last week. Minds his manners today. That's the good news. But maybe a little bit concerning. But hey, let's chalk it up to greenness, perhaps. The fact that the horse drifted out pretty wide coming to the wire, but did keep trotting forward and hold on for the win.
Yeah, still, was trotting pretty well at the wire. I love the way that he left out of there in 30 and 1. Did not put one step in today. Like you said, he did drift out in the stretch there, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. Another decent effort too from Feel the Force. Wasn't asked too much until the late stages, coming in second there.
He's second for co-owner Steve Heimbecker. Heimbecker also a co-owner on third place finisher, Living on the Rail. This one trained and driven by Aaron Byron. It was a good close-up third in that 201 and 1, clocking back half in a minute even here on an overcast and a little bit chillier than normal morning here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So we've got one in the books, and it's the son of former Hamiltonian competitor Prestidigitator, clicking in qualifier number 1. Welcoming again our viewers tuning in today. Several different platforms where you can watch. We're on the COSA-TV Facebook page, the Winback Farm Facebook page as well, Harness Racing Update, of course, the stable.ca, and of course on the Standardbred Canada website as well. Wonderful to have you with us. We've got some folks tuning in again from Scotland. James Pearson has chimed in today. I want to welcome Shell Willemsen, hopefully pronouncing that correctly, all the way from Denmark, tuning in. JD Varnell is here. George Burns says hello as well. Welcome to have, or great to have you all on board. And if you are just joining us, make sure to let us know where you're tuning in from today. And don't forget, later on in the morning, we are going to be drawing 5 names to win a Winback Farm baseball cap. So get your comments in for that. We'll turn our attention next to qualifier 2. We're back on the trot this time around. And Muscle Mass, we saw him in qualifier 1, well represented. No surprise, Robert, we're going to see him scattered throughout the program here this morning. He really has emerged in the last couple of seasons as one of the dominant forces on the trotting side in this provincial program.
Oh, well, no doubt about it. And you can't really open a program, especially in the OSS, without seeing his name multiple times. And I actually think that this upcoming second race here, I'm interested to see the number 1 Seacan, who is an offspring of Muscle Mass.
All right, let's head up to Mark McKelvey. He'll get us up to date on the rundown from back in qualifier 1.
Where do you see the chat there?
Thank you very much, Greg. As we go back to that first qualifier. Number 1, Beyond the Storm, pulled up and did not finish. Number 2, Feel the Force, was second. Number 3, Master Production, was scratch. Royal Champagne was fifth. Kilimanjaro, the winner. Give Me Carrots K was off stride through the line fourth, and Living on the Rail was third. So a 2:01 in 1 mile for Kilimanjaro. The Prestidigitator Colt, big bounce back performance, as you mentioned. 2:01 in 1. Final quarter was 30 and a fifth after a 29 and 4 third quarter. Back half in a minute flat. Doug McNair and Greg McNair likely to always make their presence known here, especially with the OSS season coming up. And Kilimanjaro takes this first qualifier in 2:01 and 1. We are dealing with a fast track. And as I mentioned, as they were going behind the gate, temperatures there in the low 20s, maybe they'll creep up a little bit. And looking at the skies, looks like the rain will likely hold off for the morning, which will be great to make for some even conditions for these rookies.
Too, Robert, we saw some babies in action last night, and that's what makes it really enjoyable. And I know, particularly from your perspective, you watch these baby races, you're watching closely, not only for the horses that are impressive and winning in those races, but ones that you think could maybe surprise in their first pari-mutuel start. And so having said that, we got to look at some of them in action last night, and I think ones that we thought would do well really did perform.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, there was a huge pari-mutuel ticket on American Ticket. I thought she qualified really well, and then came out and paid 19-1 last night. So it just shows that you know, if you're watching these, and that of course was a sibling to a Free Flying Ticket, which I'm sure some noticed. Garnet Barnsdale pointed that out. I think he did pretty well with that one last night. And World at Wardeo took the baby race for the Trotters, and dominant performance from the 9-hole. And another one that qualified really well going into that. So hopefully we'll identify some more winners in future baby races after what we see today.
Yeah, you talked about Blake McIntosh winning at long odds. He was a 1-2 finisher in that particular race last night. Better Double Flip was the runner-up from that barn. The Maneri Jameson were favored in that event, and that horse finished fifth, but was involved in a little bit of an incident turning for home. But World at Wardeo did deliver for that same combination as expected on the trotting side, and that was a post-9 victory as well. Showed good tactical speed and was able to get up for the victory. More trotters here in qualifier 2 this morning. Number 4, Twinbee Archie, certainly warrants some attention. Going to be our first look at this. Archangel Gelding, who's a half-brother to Hot Wheels, who's been you know, one that's shown a lot of talent in the last couple of seasons on this circuit.
Yeah, definitely a multiple winner, you know, at Mohawk Park, and performed well in the OSS. So definitely looking forward to seeing this one go postward.
All right, here's Mark with the call of qualifier 2.
Here we go for the second qualifier, staying on the trot. Scratch number 5, Conflict Resolution. Number 1 is C-Can, a gelded son of Muscle Mass, owned by Mark Etzel, Terry DeVos, Peter Porter. Mark Etzel, trainer. Bob McClure will do the driving. The 2 is Kipper Whippersnipper, Royalty for Life colt, owned and bred by Edward Wilson. Rob Fellows trains, Louis Waugh will drive. 3, Arch Ruler, is an Archangel colt, owned by Ben Bayerjean, Rick Hines, Santo Vena, and Nunzio Vena. Ben Bayerjean trains, Sylvain Filion steers. A $42,000 Lexington Select yearling sale purchase. Number 4 is Twinbee Archie, a gelded son Archangel, owned by Scott McEnany, Dominic Shiravelli, Floyd Marshall, and Mart West Racing Stable. McEnany trains, James McDonald drives. A $52,000 Harrisburg buy. 5 is out, so moving in a spot is number 6, Evil Guy, an Il Sogno Dream colt, owned and bred by Bill Maines and Bill Cripps. Gerald Lilly trains, Phil Houdon drives. And number 7 is American Blizz K. This is an Angus Hall colt, owned by Winning Key, trained by Paul Reed, and Scott Young is the driver. So we scratch the 5 Conflict Resolution, brings us down to a field of 6 for qualifier number 2. 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters assembled behind the starting gate, which approaches the top of the stretch. Starting gate picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and trotting. Arch Rule splits from the center for Filion and strides out to the early lead. Next door neighbor Kipper Whippersnipper crosses over in front of the rail starter Seacan. So that's your 1, 2, 3 in the opening eighth. Settling in fourth, Twin B Archie takes to the pylons. An Evil Guy and American Blizz K will do just that as everybody gets situated as they drive into the first turn. Arch Ruler is your leader, debut qualifier for this Son of Archangel, and he's on the point, leading it by a length and a half. Kipper Whippersnipper in second, then third is Seacan. They come to the opening quarter, which was trotted in 31 and 2. Onto the backstretch, the rookie trotters will go all in their best behavior as this six-pack swings into the backside, and we have some movement. Circling around to the top goes Kipper Whippersnipper for Louis-Philippe Roy, and this Royalty for Life colt was ready to move on, and he is trotting there with some good-looking strides as 3/8 of the mile is now complete. Arch Ruler in second as they get a bit of separation on Seacan, who is back there in third, followed by Twin B Archie in fourth. Evil Guy's fifth, and American Blizz K is your trailer sixth. Off stride in third went Seacan here just before the half, so Seacan off stride for McClure taken to the center of the racetrack. The half was 1:02 and 2, so that was 31 seconds in the second quarter, a tad bit quicker there. As leapfrogging to the top was Kipper Whippersnipper, and Kipper Whippersnipper now opens up 4 lengths on Arch Ruler as they go by 5/8. Back in third is Twin B Archie. 5 lengths then back to Evil Guy, who's followed by American Blizz K, and resetting is Seacan, who is 6 and about 15 from the top, as Kipper Whippersnipper took off here in the third quarter and leads them there in 1:32 and 1, 29 and 4, third split into the stretch, and it's Kipper Whippersnipper on top by almost double digits. Arch Ruler back in second. Twin B Archie in his debut qualifier will look to pass a rival as they come into the final eighth, but it is all Kipper Whippersnipper, the Royalty for Life colt, ready to rock here today, his second qualifier. This will be a winning one, and he'll take it by over a dozen lengths as he comes home looking impressive here for Louis Waugh. Kipper Whippersnipper wins it. Finishing second was Twin B Archie. Third was Arch Ruler. Then it was American Blizz K over Seacan and Evil Guy 6. 2 minutes and 3/5, so 28 and 2 final quarter for Kipper Whippersnipper.
An impressive victory here for Kipper Whippersnipper. 2 minutes, 3/5, 58 and 1 back half. From our vantage point here, we're able to see the horses in person as they come across the finish line. Loved the body language that I saw from both horse and driver. And talk about a nice step up in overall time from a week ago.
Yeah, what a turnaround, and that's what we talked about. Sometimes, getting education for the first start, and then this time, wow, just a lights out winner under a hand drive by Louis-Philippe Roy under the wire. Certainly looked the part. 58-1 back half was impressive, Greg, and a nice homebred for Edward Wilson and Rob Fellows.
At this point, it's very much about teaching them and trying to get them to do it the right way. And there's a look at the second and third place finishers. And I think connections of both of them would be more than satisfied. Twin B Archie, when he moved off the helmet late, was able to get up for second and had plenty of trot coming through the wire. So this one, as mentioned, a half-brother to Hot Wheels, a horse that was second last year in the good times behind Ready for Money. So there's a lot of pedigree potential for this one. And Sons of Archangel finished second and third. And top three all looking pretty impressive in qualifier number 2, which goes to Kipper Whippersnipper from the Rob Fellows barn. Louis-Philippe Roy on board, 2 minutes and 3/5 the win time. Welcoming again all of our viewers tuning in today. I want to say hello to Donna Males watching in from Brighton, Ontario, who loves the trotters, and I'm sure liked what she saw there. Myron Rosnitsky's tuning in from Caledon. Cassandra Morrissey from Goderich, Ontario, tuning in as well. Richard Johnson from Michigan says hello. Hi to everybody. And welcome to our live coverage. Again, you're watching on COSA-TV. Thank you to COSA for making this possible, of course, and the Woodbine Entertainment Group as well. Greg Blanchard, Robert Reed Jr. on the desk today, and Mark McKelvey, as always, calling the action. Turn our attention to Pacers for the first time this morning in qualifier 3. Off the top, we talked about a quartet of return winners that are going to be back in action here today, and one of them is Many Moons, the post 1 starter, the son of Sweet Lou.
I was very impressed with this one last week. Greg came home in 28-2 final quarter. Easy winner for the Anthony Beaton-Barnes. Sylvain Filion, we talked about him at the top of the show, how one to keep an eye on with these babies. And a $55,000 Harrisburg yearling purchase, Pennsylvania bred, Many Moons. Very impressive last time.
A winner in 58-1, 28-2 on the end of that. Several others in the field today are back out for a second consecutive time, and we'll see if any of those can step up. We've got another return winner back today, but not from this venue. Stonebridge Helios, the number 5, qualified at the Meadows, a winner last time for Tony Hall and trainer Dirk Simpson, has now moved into the John Pentland stable, and this one is owned by John Fleischman of Ottawa, Ontario. First foal from Kendall J, and one of 7 siblings that have earned over $100,000. So I would say no home run horses when you look back in the pedigree there, but a lot of good race horses.
Oh, absolutely. And that qualifying line over the Meadows looks pretty decent, coming home at 28 seconds flat, mile and 59, getting the job done. And, you know, today, Bob McClure, John Pentland, they certainly have teamed up together for a number of young horses and doing well right out of the gate.
And here's one of my favorite shots, Robert, when we're providing the live coverage, getting a look at them when they come out from the paddock. There's nothing like that up-close look to see what kind of an athlete we're looking at with all of these youngsters and how they're behaving as well when they're in that environment. And for many, it's their first trip to the big track. You know, so there's a lot of new things for them to see, and how they respond to that can often tell a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I think a lot of people that aren't close to the sport don't really understand or appreciate just the accomplishment that it is to be here today, right? To actually get to this stage, obviously moving on to pari-mutuel races and you know, getting to the winner's circle is the goal. But just getting here is actually a huge achievement and a testament to all the horsemen that have horses on this card today.
And a lot of the competitors today wearing their Montreal Canadiens outfits. So we just cannot get away from it, it seems. On that note, we'll go back up to Mark. We'll see if he has that rundown from back in qualifier 2.
Thank you very much, Greg. Yeah, second qualifier rundown. Here it is, top to bottom. Seacan was 5th. Kipper Whippersnipper, your winner. Arch Ruler was 3rd. Quinby Archie 2nd. Conflict Resolution was Scratch. Evil Guy 6th. And American Blizz K was 4th. So 5-1-3, 2 Scratch, 6-4. 31-2, 102-2, 132-1, 2 minutes and 3/5. As mentioned, a 28-2 final quarter for Kipper Whippersnipper, as that homebred for owner Edward Wilson turns in a real sharp performance here today, as you guys mentioned. 2 minutes and 3/5, and won it by 11.5 lengths. So we'll move on now to the third qualifier. We'll pass along any changes in just a moment.
In this spot, 8 of them facing the starting gate. A couple of Sons of Sunshine Beach in this spot. We talked about Stonebridge Helios, the number 5. He Be Sunny is the number 7 in the field. Another returnee. Didn't win a week ago, but was caught in one of the fastest splits. And individually paced in 56-4, kicked home in 27-2. Looked very good.
Oh yeah, that final quarter was impressive, and James was aboard for that effort, and will be back aboard today. And he's another one, like I said, I do keep an eye on in these qualifying events and baby races, because you know I think that he likes to preserve as much as he can for when it actually matters, when the money is down. So I'll be interested to see how this one finishes mile again today.
Francis Dumichel is the owner of this one, co-owner, and does the training as well. A $24,000 yearling purchase last year from the Ontario Selected Yearling Sale. And he had some luck last year, had a nice filly here in the province, and looks like he's got another one that has stakes potential. Whether it's going to be grassroots or gold remains to be seen, but that's one of the good things about the Ontario program. You've got different options, including now that third tier, the Prospect Series.
Oh, absolutely. And this horse, you know, might be bound for the bigger end of those events off that qualifying efforts. But yeah, it's always nice to have those different levels for all the different you know, tiers of talent.
All right, we've got the starting gate getting set to go for qualifier 3 from Woodbine, Mohawk Park.
Qualifier number 3, 2-year-old pacing Colts and Geldings moving behind the starting gate. One driver change. Doug McNair will drive number 2, Sports Teller. Here's your field. 1 is Many Moons, a Sweet Lou colt owned by Mac Nickel, Robert Jones. Anthony Beaton trains. Sylvain Filion drives. $55,000 Harrisburg buy. 2 is Sports Teller, a gelded son of sports writer. Owned and bred by Troy Mark. Shares ownership with Kimberly Mark. Jack Beliveau trains. Doug McNair will steer. 3 is Mr. Dress Up, gelded son of Shadow Play. Owned by the Bob McIntosh Stables, Al McIntosh Holdings, and Beverly Snobelin. Trained by Bob McIntosh. Trevor Henry drives. 4 is Team Mac, a gelded son of Better's Delight. Hut Racing Stable, Steve Heimbecker and Blake McIntosh share ownership. Blake McIntosh trains. Phil Hudon will steer, a $72,000 Lexington Select grad. 5 is Stonebridge Helios, a Sunshine Beach colt owned by John Fleischman. Trained by John Pentland. Bob McClure will drive. $25,000 London yearling sale purchase. 6 is Leave in Bruises, a Believe in Bruiser colt owned by Courtney Bishop and Leo Fleming. Trained by Gary Bishop. Jody Jameson drives. 7, He Be Sunny, gelded son of Sunshine Beach. Francis Dumichel, Acurie CSL, Travis Henry, and OAS 2021 share ownership. Dumichel, the trainer. James McDonald drives. $24,000 Ontario purchase. And 8 is Delicate Sound, gelded son of State Treasure, owned by Earl Harvey. Pierre Demers is your trainer. Louis-Philippe Waugh drives. So they're off and pacing here in the third qualifier, and we'll give our first call to Team Mac and Phil Hudon as they step out to the early lead. He Be Sunny is forwardly placed by James McDonald, and splitting through the center, Stonebridge Helios and Bob McClure are going to try and get control. At the inside, Many Moons got away in 4th. Leaving Bruises will have a spot to drop in front of Mr. Dress Up. Caught on the outside, Delicate Sound, and Sports Teller is your early trailer. They go into the first turn, and He Be Sunny isn't going to get a spot on the rail because he wants to move on now to the lead. So He Be Sunny and James McDonald will just power on up, and they will clear to the top as they straighten out into the backstretch. Stonebridge Helios will now land himself a 2-hole ride. Racing in 3rd is Team Mac, and out from 4th comes Many Moons for Sylvain Filion, and then back in 5th we've got Leave in Bruises. 3 lengths then to Mr. Dress Up, who is racing there in 6th. 7th up the backside, Delicate Sound, and Sports Teller is your trailer. Many Moons here in the second quarter is making the march up to the top, and Many Moons will now clear to command just after a half-mile clocking of 59.3. On to the final turn they'll go, and Many Moons is now your new leader. 3rd leader we've had here, and there's 5/8 of the mile now complete. Many Moons by a length and a half. He Be Sunny right on that one's back. Then 3rd is Stonebridge Helios. Racing in 4th is Team Mac, followed 5th by Leave in Bruises. 6th is Mr. Dress Up. Then 7th, the Delicate Sound, and Sports Teller is 8th. They head to 3/4. The Sweet Lou colt Many Moons races past the 3rd marker in 1:28 flat, so they spin for home. Many Moons on top. He Be Sunny back there 2nd. Stonebridge Helios is 3rd. On the outside, Leave in Bruises trying to get up into 4th from Team Mac. 5th, 1/8 of a mile to go. Here's He Be Sunny trying to power on by, taking his shot at Many Moons, who looks to dig in. Stonebridge Helios is going to make it a 3 across finish. In the center, He Be Sunny gets the short advantage late. He Be Sunny to take it. Stonebridge Helios finishing up good there 2nd. Many Moons settles for 3rd. 4th was Leave in Bruises. 1:55.3 for He Be Sunny.
Nice group of colts in action in qualifier number 3. He Be Sunny shows gate speed and shows late speed. 55.3, 27.3 on the end. Comes down to a sprint in a pretty quick time as well, as this one gets back around Many Moons, and then Stonebridge Helios really closed up, and this guy's reaching for racetrack on the end of it as well. Really not much to choose between the top 3.
No, those are the 3 that we highlighted, and they all turned in really nice performances. Stonebridge Helios with the best late pace under the wire, but I like the body language of James McDonald there on He Be Sunny, coming home in 27.3, and he did it impressively, and I think James had some more in the tank there for sure.
Top 3 got some separation, but even the 4th place finisher there, Leave in Bruises, that is a nice initial effort for this one, the son of Believe in Bruiser. Don't see too many offspring from that one, but the ones we've seen have made an impression, and the one that really jumps out is 2nd Bruiser, who last year looked like almost a freak of nature as a 2-year-old, and he's come back well as a 3-year-old so far. That first start, if anyone missed it, was ultra impressive.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go watch a replay of that. It was one of the most impressive first off the bench efforts I've ever seen. Looked like he was going to be at best fourth, going first over to a real nice horse, and then just push past him before the wire. Incredible performance, and a nice effort from another offspring of Leave 'em Bruiser here to finish fourth here with Leave 'em Bruises.
So again, you are watching live coverage of the baby races here from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Hello to some of our other viewers who have tuned in. Matthew McLean, a fellow Prince Edward Island native who now calls Grantham, New Hampshire home. Thank you to Matthew for tuning in and commenting. Alan Middleton, one of our regular viewers from the UK. Good morning, Alan. And of course, good friend of racing here in the province, a regular face here at Woodbine Mohawk Park when the big stake season gets underway, Dale Liska from nearby Waterdown. And yeah, he's asking about that capacity, 25% capacity for fans for next week. And to my understanding, it's going to be open to everybody, 25% of normal capacity, Dale. So that's good news. Yeah, I think we're going to see fans out on the tarmac here starting next week here and other tracks across the province. So that's fantastic. Ontario Sire Stakes, that's going to kick off next week as well over the Canada Day weekend, and it's going to kick off with a bang at this venue and Hiawatha Horse Park in Sarnia as well. Give you a look there at the schedule. It's just always a fun time of year. The OSS program, Robert, it's always been one of the very best in North America, and excitement abounds for this season now that we're back in action. And boy, we're going to get a boatload of OSS action that opening weekend.
Yeah, it's going to come at us fast and furious, but you know, it's been long awaited for for it to return in its normal capacity. And I love the OSS races at really all levels, especially the Golds. And there's usually some nice wagering opportunities in those first events of the season.
Glamour Boys will be here on that opening weekend on the Saturday night. Gotta like what you've seen from some of those coming back, including Lala Shadow.
Oh yeah, Lala Shadow, dominant winner last time. I actually I picked against him in the Horse Players Journal, and boy, did he ever make me pay with that huge victory at Mohawk Park after finishing second in his first start back here in Ontario. But yeah, looking forward to seeing him in that OSS program all season long.
Had a look there at Scott Coulter and the number 1 Bring Your Fire heading to the track here as we get set for a look at qualifier number 4. Before we do that though, let's head back up to Mark McKelvey and see if he's got that rundown from the 3rd.
Yes, here's the rundown, Greg, from qualifier number 3. Many Moons was 3rd. Teller 7th. Mr. Dressup 5th. Team Max 6th. Stormbridge Helios was 2nd. Leave 'em Bruises 4th. Hebe Sunny the winner. And Delicate Sound was 8th. Time of the mile was 1:55.3. That was a 27-3 final quarter for the race. And that'll end up actually being a 27-1 final quarter for the winner, Hebe Sunny, who was 1 3/4 lengths off at 3/4. Won it by half of a length over Stonebridge Helios. And your 3rd place finisher, Many Moons, who was leading them into the lane, was beat 1 1/4. So 3 across. Pretty good qualifier there. As Hebe Sunny, the gelded son of Sunshine Beach, Francis Dumichel, the trainer, James McDonald, the driver, $24,000 Ontario Select purchase, wins it in 1:55.3. Those two teamed up last year and had a bit of success with the pacing filly Twin Bee Sunkissed, who's now back for her 3-year-old campaign for trainer Dumichel. So Hebe Sunny wins the 3rd.
And another good-looking group on tap for qualifier number 4, and most of them are now on the track. We'll have the start coming up in just a moment. A field of 8, including number 8, Athens Sealster, a gelded son of the late Thinking Out Loud from Atlantic Sealster, makes this one a sibling to some really good, solid performers on this circuit, the likes of Deb and Kat, who we've seen racing here on a regular basis, and an alumni Sealster, a really good 2-year-old last year, Robert, paced in 52 and 2, banked almost 150K And it's interesting, took that 52-2 record last year in her very first career start.
Yeah, and you know what? All the horses that you just mentioned were, raced well early on in their careers, and especially that one, Alumni Sealster, awesome right out of the gate last year, and raced pretty well in her first race this season as well. So looking forward to seeing this one for sure.
Another one I think to have a look at, here's Dream Fair Arnie B, the sports writer colt, is from the world champion Dream Fair Eternal. This is her 5th foal. She's had one winner so far that's earned over 100K. So, hasn't clicked for the real top stakes horse yet, but boy, on the racetrack, there was really none better in her day than her, a $2.5 million career winner.
Yeah, 56 lifetime wins, and she was a horse you could go to the bank on in much of her career. I mean, she won more than a third of her starts, which is incredible over a career of 140 starts. So always nice to keep an eye on horses like her and their offspring, and maybe this one will be one of her first ones to break through for some big events.
And that one, of course, a homebred of John Lamers, who owned and campaigned at Dream Fair Eternal. John of Mount Bridges, Ontario, has this guy, Dream Fair Arnie B, has qualified once, though, prior to today. That was a bit of an eye catcher over at Grand River.
Yeah, for sure. Coming home in 28-1 over the half-mile surface there is definitely moving well late in the miles. So I'm curious to see how this horse transitions to the big track.
We will find out. The gate is rolling for qualifier 4.
2-year-old pacing colts and geldings here for the 4th qualifier. No changes, field of 8. Number 1, Bring Your Fire, is a Bettor's Delight colt. Owned and bred by Jacob Nixon. Trained by Dean Nixon. Scott Coulter drives. The 2 is Dream Fair Arnie B, a sports rider colt. Owned and bred by John Lamers. Bobby Joe Weinhold Harris is your trainer. Nick Boyd your driver. 3 is Aiden James, a sports rider colt. Owned by Ariel Harvey Fils. $17,000 Ontario purchase. Gerard Demers your trainer. Louis-Philippe Waugh drives. 4 is All a Boyle. Gelded Son of Bettor's Delight, owned by Coyote Wind Farms. Trained by Clark Bealby. Robert Shepard drives. $20,000 Harrisburg buy. 5 is Lions Lou, a Sweet Lou colt, owned by 3 Lions Racing. Trained by Tony Beaton. Sylvain Filion in the sulky. $25,000 Harrisburg purchase. 6 is Getting Into It, sports rider colt, owned by Daniel Plouffe, Blake McIntosh, Jean-Christophe Plouffe, and Michael Lindley. Blake McIntosh trains, Jody Jameson drives, $47,000 Lexington buy. 7 is Signing Bonus, Greg McNair, Jim Newton, Blooming Wood Farms Limited, and Paul Kidd are your owners. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives this Shadow Play colt. And 8 is Athens Sealster, a gelded son of Thinking Out Loud, owned by the Bob McIntosh stables, Al McIntosh Holdings, Dr. David Fisher, and Ian Fisher. Bob McIntosh trains, Trevor Henry drives, $24,000 London yearling sale purchase. Putting in a few steps there was number 6, Getting Into It. Recovers though, and they're on gate picking up speed. And they're off in pacing here in the 4th qualifier, and Lions Lou shoots from the center. Dream Fair Arnie B towards the inside, and Getting Into It is going to get right into the mix. On the outside, Signing Bonus, and then getting to the pylons will be All a Boyle there in 5th. Settles in front of the rail starter, Bring Your Fire, who gets away 6th. 7th is Aiden James, and your trailer is Athens Sealster. Into the first turn they go. A couple of them caught on the outside. The leader by a length and a half is Lions Lou. Getting Into It could probably drop into the deuce, and will do just that. The opening quarter was 28-4, fastest opening quarter of the morning, and into the backstretch it is Lions Lou, a son of Sweet Lou, leading it by a length and a half. Getting Into It settles there second. 3rd is Dream Fair Arnie B. Signing Bonus had a big 4-hole to drop into. Then back 5th is All a Boyle. 6th is Bring Your Fire. 7th up the backside, Aiden James, and Athens Sealster can see them all. Field of 8 goes up the backside, and they are following Lions Lou, a $25,000 Harrisburg purchase, leading it by a length and a half past the midway point in 58 seconds flat. 29-1 in the second quarter off a 28-4 opener, then 29-1, and as they go into the final turn, the lead begins to grow here for Lions Lou as Sylvain Filion lets them ramp it up a bit. 5/8 of the mile now complete. Getting Into It is in second. Dream Fair Arnie B is in third, about 5 or 6 lengths back to Signing Bonus in 4th, followed by All a Boyle, Bring Your Fire, Aiden James, and Athens Sealster. 3/4 is hit in 1:26. 28 seconds in the 3rd quarter. quarter. Lions Lou rolling right along, swings them into the lane, leading it by 3.5. Back in second is getting into it on the outside. Dreamfair Arnie B is now moved into second. 1/8 of a mile remaining. Signing bonus back in fourth. Bring Your Fire trying to pass him. 16th to go. It's still Lions Lou your leader. Lions Lou over Dreamfair Arnie B. Lions Lou will take it. A good looking performance here today, stopping the clock in 1:53 and 4. Second was Dreamfair Arnie B. Tight for third between Getting Into It and Bring Your Fire. Lions Lou 1:53 and 4, 27 and 4 home.
Getting a look there at some speed we have not seen to this point in the baby races over the first 3 weeks. It is Lions Lou with a head turner, 1:53 and 4, 55 and 4 back half, and looked like he had a little bit left in the tank as well. Good looking son of Sweet Lou for Anthony Beaton and driver Sylvain Filion. Dreamfair Arnie B, we wondered how that 32 length win at Grand River would translate to here. And I think it's safe to say, Robert, it translated well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the winner was very impressive, but I like that performance by Dreamfair Arnie B. Sat the 3-hole, came around a rival, and was moving well in the stretch under not so much urging from Nick Boyd, and was reeling in that leader. Was never going to get him, but I really like that performance there. I'll be keeping my eye on this one for sure, Greg.
Alrighty, we've got 4 in the books, and we are just getting going. We'll be back with more from Woodbine Mohawk Park in a moment.
Winback Farm of Ontario is home to 7 outstanding pacers, including Better Than Cheddar, a proven sire of Ontario Sire Stakes Gold winners. 3 rich performers stand their second season in 2021, including O'Brien Award winner Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner Stag Party. Also standing, Millionaires Aren't Speak, Better's the Light, and Shadow Play. For more information, it's winbackfarm.com.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
There's a look from high atop picturesque Woodbine Mohawk Park in the small, quaint community of Campbellville, Ontario. But yeah, not far away from the big city of Toronto. Beautiful venue. There's a look at the 7/8 mile oval, and obviously in top condition here this morning by virtue of what we've seen in the time department so far. We have more pacers coming up next year in Qualifier 5. Again, welcoming all of you tuning in across our various platforms. And we're hearing from people from far and wide today. Sherman Edwards from Montreal is joining us. Hello to Megan Osborne, who is tuning in, and our good friend J.D. Varnell, who keeps up to date on racing from all over North America. Great to have all of you joining us today. Don't forget, at the end of the show, we are going to be drawing for 5 baseball caps, compliments of our friends at Winback Farm. So everyone who comments today, you'll be entered for that draw. And, maybe we'll ask Sherman to chime in just on what the scene is like in Montreal right now. It must be insane with what is happening there, no question. We turn our attention here to the 5th. We've got some wonderful pedigree potential to look at in here. West is Best is one that I liked what I saw from last week. Finished 4th, raced evenly. This one is a 4th full from the good producing mare Let's Head Out West. He's a sibling to Far Better, a talented youngster we've seen race here for trainer Bob McIntosh, and the 3-year-old filly pacer Best Head West. She's had one start back as a 3-year-old. And I love the way she closed up to be third in that debut.
Oh yeah, and that was a really tough group as well. I mean, there were some stone cold killers in that race, and I agree. I think she closed up really nicely. And I'm interested to see this one today because we've seen a lot of horses step up their game in their second qualifier this time around. And this is one that kind of sat back in his initial qualifier. And I think we might see a little more from him today.
So you've got the familiar connections, owner Bob McIntosh, the CSX Stables longtime partners, and of course Al McIntosh as well. McIntosh, he's got that stable full of stakes types homebreds over the years. You know, he's had those champion fillies, and you know, they turn into great broodmares, and it really just keeps the cycle going for him. So no surprise each and every year to see him show up on these days with impressive youngsters. So that's one that I've got an eye on to see here in start number 2 if the son of Sunshine Beach can step it up from a time perspective. Sweet Lou. We've seen a few of his offspring looking very good this morning, including the last race winner. We've got a first-timer here by that stallion, number 6, He's Really Keen, sent out by Maneri and Jameson.
Yeah, $55,000 yearling purchase at Harrisburg, and we've seen that pairing team up for some real nice performances so far in the mornings, and then of course last night at Mohawk Park in the rookie race for trotters. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on, and everything with the Maneri barn certainly seems ready to roll.
And He's Really Keen is from Betty and the Jets, a Jeremy's Jet mare that has had 3 foals so far. This one's the 3rd foal. The first was Benny is a Jet, and that guy went 10 for 22 and made 60,000 in only those 22 starts. So there's some talent in the family, certainly on this one. Next door neighbor Striking Impact is a first-timer here from Aunt Caroline, her 4th foal. She was a $230,000 winner on the racetrack. And interesting as well, Robert, one of the few that we're going to see out for a 3rd time is number 2, Roll With The Flow, already 2 qualifiers under his belt.
Yeah, nice foundation for this one, and progressively faster too, almost 2 seconds faster in his latest, so probably look to drop some more time today. Definitely, you know, one that should be ready to go when he hits the starting gate for the first time at a pari-mutuel event.
Another good-looking contest here, a field of 8 2-year-old colt and gelding pacers. With the gate rolling, here's Mark with the call.
5th baby race of the morning, 2-year-old pacing colts and gelding. Scratch number 2, Roll at the Flow. 1 is Azure Beach. Sunshine Beach colt, owned by Patrick Dillon, trained by Rob Fellows, Louis Waugh drives. 2 is out. 3 is Lion's Pride, a Better's Delight colt owned by 3 Lions Racing, trained by Tony Beaton, Sylvan Filion between the wheels, $30,000 Lexington Select purchase. 4 is West is Best, a Sunshine Beach colt owned by the Bob McIntosh Stables, CSX Stables, now McIntosh Holdings. Bob McIntosh trains, Trevor Henry your reinsman. 5 is Striking Impact, and Always Be Mickey colt owned by Aaron Waxman, Santo Vena, and Fox Racing, trained by Dwayne Marfisi. Doug McNair drive, $50,000 Lexington Select purchase. 6, He's Really Keen. This is gelded son of Sweet Lou, owned by Maneri Guerrero, Thomas Dillon, Scott Dillon, and PBG Stables, trained by Dave Maneri, Jody Jameson, the driver. This is a $55,000 standardbred horse sale purchase. 7 is EL Gladiator, up the credit colt, owned by James Edward Lewis, also the breeder. Adrian Hickey, your trainer. Aaron Byron will drive. And number 8 is Colby Two-Step, a Better Than Cheddar colt, owned by Tim Gillespie and Jason Churchill. Tim Gillespie trains. Bob McClure will drive, a $12,000 Ontario Select purchase. Starting gate swings into the stretch, scratching number 2, Roll With The Flow, field of 7, picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing, and Colby Two-Step charges out to the early lead from the outside. Getting away in second is Lion's Pride. In the center, that is West is Best. On the outside, He's Really Keen. Striking Impact unhurried in the early going, gets away in 5th. 6 is Azure Beach, and your early trailers EL Gladiator. They're going into the first turn, and Colby Two-Step is up front here for McClure. Racing in second is West is Best, then third is Lion's Pride. Settling 4th, He's Really Keen. The opening quarter, 28-3. Onto the backstretch they'll go, and it's Colby Two-Step, your leader, leading it by a couple of lengths. West is Best is racing second. Lion's Pride is third. Right behind that rival is He's Really Keen. Break of 2 then to Striking Impact racing 5th. 6 is Azure Beach, and the trailer 7th is EL Gladiator. Single file as they go up the backstretch, and they're approaching the half. And Colby Two-Step is going to bring him to the midway point here, leading it by almost 2 lengths. So Colby two-step off a 28-3 opener is past the half in 59-2. 30-4 in the second quarter. On to the final turn they go. West is Best is in second. Lions Pride in third. Fourth as he's really keen. On the outside now advancing a few spots. EL Gladiator inside Striking Impact. And on the outside is Azure Beach. They're heading towards 3 quarters. Colby two-step still leading it by a pair. West is Best in second. Big move here from EL Gladiator. This one is all the way up now into second with that big third quarter move. Slipping off the cones was Lions Pride from in fourth in front of Azure Beach. 3 quarters, 129-1. They turn for home. Colby two-step at the inside, looking to fight off EL Gladiator. Lions Pride in third. West is Best in behind. 1/8 of a mile remaining. Colby two-step still with the lead. And Colby two-step able to turn away EL Gladiator. And Colby two-step will go coast to coast and dances to victory here this morning. It's Colby two-step finishing in second. Was EL Gladiator tight for third. Looked like Lions Pride maybe over West is Best. 157 flat for Colby two-step.
Colby two-step getting our first look at that. Son of Better Than Cheddar this morning from the Art Colony mare Dancing Heart. Tim Gillespie training, Bob McClure doing the driving. Tim owns this one and bred by Winback Farm of Maryland. Just a $12,000 yearling. Looked fantastic, I thought, Robert. Handled very professionally throughout the mile and sprints home in 27-4 to win it under wraps.
I love the way that he left off the gate too. I mean, it's pretty difficult task to ask of a horse in their first career time behind the starting gate, and from the 8-hole left out in 28-3 and did it pretty easy, and then snapped home as well. So definitely caught my eye.
Yes, I'm sure when you come into this type of scenario with a youngster, one thing you don't want to do, a lot of guys don't want to get horses to the point where they're leaving and getting a little bit hot and unmanageable. So you'll see them, a lot of them want to try and race from off the pace, but if you've got that quick snap move off the gate like this guy showed, and then can settle and rate in the middle half and then sprint home. So to already be at that level of maturity is pretty impressive from a youngster on the first trip behind the gate. So that bodes well for this guy. I think he'll be a factor in parimutuel action when we see him on the racetrack. He looks ready to race for sure. The runner-up finisher there, EL Gladiator, I thought looked good. A son of Up the Credit. Nice big strong gait to this guy, and made that menacing move in the third quarter. Couldn't go with the winner, but fought on to be a good second in that spot. Another impressive victory this morning. Colby two-step. Tim Gillespie, Bob McClure. Look like they've got a nice one on their hands here. We're coming up to qualifier 6. A note with 14 today. We'll take a break after qualifier 7, and that'll give time for the horses in the second half today to get their warm-ups in. And during that time, we'll take a bit of a break here as well. Thanks to everybody tuning in today. We've got our friend Sean Colby watching in. He's got his Tims in hand and enjoying the coverage. That's great. Roland de Kaiser has a question, wondering if we'll need a reservation to get into Mohawk. I believe that is going to be the case. I believe you're going to have to reserve your spot ahead of time, and we can get Mark McKelvey to maybe confirm that for us later on. I want to say hi to Shelley watching in from Moline, Illinois as well. So viewers far and wide, I hope you're enjoying the coverage here this morning on COSA-TV. Back on the pace for qualifier 6 upcoming, and another field of 8 in this spot. Anyone in particular, Robert, that you're interested in watching?
Well, I want to see the follow-up ever from Up the Creek. I was most impressed with him last time out, expanding winner under the wire, 28 flat, 158-4 for the mile. He's a $13,000 yearling at a Harrisburg, and I just want to see how he builds on that one. I think we're looking to drop some more time today. I was impressed last time, and Dave Benary and Jody James, we've already mentioned their names a few times, and we'll probably continue to do so. I think this one is going to rhyme off a bigger mile today. A
lot of pedigree potential on this one as well. The Bettor's Delight colt has mated here with Skinny Dip, a Western Ideal mare that's produced 4 winners of 150,000 plus already. And based on what we saw a week ago, you've certainly got some sort of stakes caliber youngster on your hands. It's just a question whether it's going to be grassroots or gold to start off the racing career. Tall and Tan Blue Chip. I'm sure expectations are high for this one. A Bettor's Delight colt, $100,000 yearling purchase for the combination of Luke Blais and Bob McClure. Finished 8th last time, got away 8th, finished 8th. Didn't really show a lot of speed, charted in 2:01 and 3. What do you expect today?
Certainly something better than that. And there's no concern ever when these ones kind of start off slower, because the connections never rush their youngsters, and that was pretty much what I would expect from this one in the first time in a qualifying event. And I think today we're probably going to see something a little bit better, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's still more of a mid-pack finish even for this track today.
A nice look at the horses and drivers making their way onto the Mohawk Racing Strip for qualifier 6. While we have a moment, let's go back up to Mark McKelvey for that rundown from qualifier 5.
Yeah, qualifier number 5, your order of finish. Azure Beach was 7th, Roll with Flow was scratched. Lions Pride was 4th, West is Best 3rd, Striking Impact 6th, He's Really Keen was 5th, EL Gladiator 2nd, and Colby Two-Step was your winner, doing it in wire-to-wire fashion. 157 flat, a final quarter of 27 and 4. Took it by just over 2 lengths from EL Gladiator, who was 2nd. 3rd was West is Best, and that one was beat about 3 lengths, just edging out Lions Pride for that position. A real nice debut there for the Better Than Cheddar colt, Colby Two-Step, for trainer Tim Gillespie. A $12,000 Ontario Select purchase. And worth noting, if we do go back to qualifier number 4, that performance by the winner, Lions Lou, sub 154. That's the first time we've seen a 2-year-old here in Canada break 54 this season. So the fastest 2-year-old to this point. And gentlemen, just before I send things back down to you, just chiming in as I heard one of your questions there about reservations and things like that. Definitely encourage all the racing fans out there to make sure that they are checking their various industry news websites and social media as well, because information will be coming out potentially as early as today with just the plans and exactly how you can get back to the track. Of course, with the capacity limits, we do need to make sure that we don't exceed them. And of course, you need to track kind of the contact info as well as we get back to allowing fans in. I can't wait to see spectators here less than a week now on July 1st, but look for that. There'll be great opportunities for fans to get back to the track.
All right, thank you very much, Mark, and thanks for the information. And yes, that's the best way to keep up to date, follow along with Standardbred Canada, of course, COSA, and the various industry organizations here in the province. Mohawk Park, one of the most beautiful venues in North America to watch harness racing live. Excited to have fans back here as early as next week. Gate rolling, back up to Mark for the call of qualifier 6.
Qualifier number 6 here. We're going to scratch number 4, Arrow Magic. Doug McNair will drive number 2, Free on the Beach. 1 Still Thirsty, a Thinking Out Loud colt, owned by Bob McIntosh Stables, CSX Stables. McIntosh trains, Trevor Henry drives. 2 is Free on the Beach, a Sunshine Beach colt, owned by Bruce Somers, Robert McMillan, trained by Rob Fellows. Doug McNair will drive. 3 is Tall and Tan Blue Chip. Bob McClure drives for trainer Luke Blais and owner Determination, a gelded son of Bettor's Delight, $100,000 yearling buy. 4 is out. 5 is Up the Creek, a gelded son of Bettor's Delight, Maneri Racing, Michael Guerrero, Alan Albert, and George Harrison, your owners. Dave Maneri trains. Jody Jameson drives, the $13,000 yearling buy. 6 is On Top Rain Man. He's watching colt, owned by Chris Nickel, trained by Walter Whalen, Michael Whalen steers. 7 is Lions Valiant, a Lions Somewhere colt, owned by 3 Lions Racing, trained by Tony Beaton, Sylvan Filion in the bike. And number 8 is 6 and 6, a gelded son of American Ideal, owned by the Mortgage Boys stable, Gary Volpe, Peter Barbado, and Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains. James McDonald drives, $30,000 yearling purchase. Gate picking up speed, and here they come. Lions Valiant was the pacer a few lengths back. So they're set on their way, and Up the Creek comes away from the center, stepping out to the early lead. Free on the Beach to get away in second. They're 6 and 6 on the outside. Going to likely drop in third in front of Still Thirsty fourth. On the outside, On Top, Rain Man gets away fifth. 6 is Tall and Tan Blue Chip, and your early trailer 7th is Lions Valiant. Will be right there with them despite some sluggish beginning. Onto the first turn they go, and it's up the creek by a couple of lengths. Up the creek past the opening quarter in 31 seconds. So not a lot of early speed here as the rookie pacers move into the backstretch. Up the creek, qualifying for the second time, was a winner back on June 19th, doing it all on the front, 158.4 on that morning, leads it by a couple of lengths. Free on the Beach is racing in second. Third is 6 in 6. Then back there in fourth, that is Still Thirsty. Racing in fifth is On Top Rainman. We had a breaker in the second quarter, that being Tall and Tan Blue Chip. And then we go to Lions Valiant. They are coming up towards the half, and that half mile was recorded in 1:01 and 3. So that was actually quicker than the opening quarter. That was 30 and 3. And Up the Creek might just leave his rivals behind here. He gets separation of a half dozen lengths. Back in second, Free on the Beach. Third is 6 and 6. Now moving to the outside, Still Thirsty. On Top, Rain Man will follow that path, Lions Valiant. And then we go to Tall and Tan Blue Chip. Up the Creek is way up the creek here as he leads this one by 7 lengths, turning for home, 1:30 and 3. So that was a third quarter of 29 seconds. And Up the Creek, the gelded son of Better's Delight, will look to close this one out strong. Back in second is Still Thirsty. On Top, Rainman has moved into third and will try to come up the inside on Still Thirsty. Back in fourth is Free on the Beach, but this was all Up the Creek, and they weren't going to find him here as he wins this one, charging home to stop the clock in 1:57 and 4, a 27 and 1 kicker for Up the Creek.
Just simply a final quarter sprint in qualifier 6 for Up the Creek. The Better's Delight colt is now 2 for 2 in baby race action. The Dave Maneri pupil, son of Better's Delight, as we talked about, has several siblings who have been stakes performers in their career, and it looks like they've got another one on their hands. Not a real big colt, but he's got a quick turn of foot.
Oh, absolutely. He really easy kind of winner there and sprinted home. I like what I saw. I was hoping to see him do a little more than he did last time, and even though the tempo was slow throughout, he did bang home well and come in with a faster time than he did in his first effort. So looking forward to seeing this one make his pari-mutuel debut. Number 3, Tall and Tan Blue Chip, made a break. We were looking to see that one maybe step up his game a little bit this time around, but I guess it was a trotter, but Macho Martini made a break in his second qualifier as well, and then went on to win gold his first start. So
that's right, and it really is just a learning process at this point in time. Some get it quicker than others. Still Thirsty, a good example, made a break in the debut effort last week, finished distanced. Probably didn't get a whole lot out of that trip to Woodbine Mohawk Park today. Much better effort, kept it together, and is a distant second, but a good second. Was clearly best of the rest, and had one closing on his inside, but showed a little bit of fight down near the wire and was able to pick up the deuce there. So Team McIntosh having a pretty good morning. Looks like they have another group as well, but trainer Dave Maneri, I think, serving notice, and driver Jody Jamieson, that we're going to see a lot of them early on in the stakes season here as the Ontario Sire Stakes get set to get underway in now under a week from now. A real enjoyable morning here so far. We like what we have seen, and again want to welcome in all of our viewers. Hello to David Reed and the folks from Preferred Equine. They're watching in today on the YouTube feed. Great to have them on board. And Dale had another question for us. Dale Liska, wondering from both of us if we've got a particular sire that's had an impressive winner that we really liked. I'll put that one to you. For me, I don't know if I could pick just one.
No, that's a tough one for me too. I have to look back through and see who I thought was the most impressive winner so far. I guess really, for me it would be Lions Lou to this point. Lions Lou was, I thought, very impressive. That was a sweet Lou, Pennsylvania bred, going outside of Ontario, of course, but I thought that was a real rock solid performance.
So we've got one more to go before we take our mid-morning break as you're watching live coverage of the baby races here on COSA-TV. Scheduled to have a field of 8 back on the pace going to the post in this one. Number 1 is HP Momentum. The dam of this one, Amenable, Hanover, I drag it again, Mayor, was the dam of world champion Miss Easy. And, you know, there's certainly some pedigree when you start looking back on this family. This gelding is a son of Control the Moment, a half-sibling to a couple of well-known horses that have raced at the top level on this circuit, HP Napoleon and HP Patriot, both winners of 200,000 plus and still going well. So this one I think is one to keep an eye on in here. Control the Moment, speaking of stallions, last year I think made an impact in his rookie season in Ontario, and you know, from I think a more limited group, produces some good young talent.
Oh, definitely, and yeah, what a racehorse he was as well. So I look forward to seeing what this crop will bring, and this one here certainly comes from solid connections, and you know, Sylvain Philly on a board again, and I can't stress enough how much I keep a close eye on him in these baby races, because he doesn't always reveal his hand just yet when there's no money in the line.
Sports Writer remains one of the prominent Ontario stallions, well represented. He's got half of the field going postward in this group of 8, including the half-sibling to Bronx Sealster, the $625,000 winning son of Big Jim, who was a former Ontario Sire Stakes star. The son of Sports Writer will be going out for the first time this morning. Eric Nadeau trains, and Louis-Philippe Bois will do the driving. Sibling Bourbon Sealster, another good one, $250,000 winner. So this is the type that to keep your eye on in here. Bob McIntosh sends out another one that we'll have a look at in See Me Shine, a Sunshine Beach colt that we're getting a look at for the first time. But again, we've got a few in here that qualified a week ago and raced, I would say, evenly. None of them really jumped up and stood out, so we'll all be looking for improvement today.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, even sports fan going to make it, the number 8 sports fan for Blake McIntosh, going to make his 3rd qualifying effort. Last time made a break, going to hopefully rebound from that one, but home in 27-3 in his first qualifier. So I'm looking for this one to maybe drop some time today and atone for that miscue last time.
All right, let's head up to Mark McKelvey and see if he's got the rundown of qualifier 6.
Thirsty was 2nd, Free on the Beach 6th, Tall and Tan Blue Chip 7th, Arrow Magic was scratched. Up the Creek, your winner. On Top Rain Man was 3rd, Lions Valiant 4th, and 6 and 6 was 5th. So that was a big performance, 157-4, a 14-length score for Up the Creek, who's now 2 for 2 in baby race action.
All right, one final look at the field page here for qualifier number 7. So again, following this, we will take a break and allow the horses that are competing later on this morning to get their warm-ups in. Looking forward to this contest, and a lot of pedigree potential on display here. We'll find out who emerges victorious in just a moment. The gate is in motion for qualifier 7.
7th baby race, final baby race of our first half here today. Scratch number 2, Affair Somewhere. Number 1 is HP Momentum, gelded son of Control the Moment, owned by Claude Mel, Gestion A.A. Belanger, and Jean Tourney. Jean Tourney, the trainer, Sylvain Philly on drives. 2 is out. 3 is Nassau Hanover, a sports writer colt owned by John Pentland, Peter Charlton, and Archie Leach, trained by John Pentland. Bob McClure drives, $25,000 yearling purchase. 4 is Magical Arthur, an Art Speak colt, owned and bred by David Lumsden. Tony Beaton trained Scott Young steers. 5 is Rainbow Nation, a sports writer colt owned by 1187422 Ontario Inc. They're also the breeders. Jason Ryan trains and drives. 6 is Beacon Sealster, a sports writer colt owned by Bill Donovan, Louis-Philippe Waugh, Purnell, and Libby, trained by Eric Nadeau. Louis Waugh drives, $82,000 yearling purchase. 7 is See Me Shine, a Sunshine Beach colt owned by the Bob McIntosh Stables, CSX Stables, and Al McIntosh Holdings. Bob McIntosh trains Trevor Henry will steer. And number 8 is Sports Fan, a sports writer colt owned and bred by Leanne Murphy. Stuart McIntosh shares ownership. Blake McIntosh trains, and James McDonald is your driver. starting 8 swings into the stretch. Off stride is number 7, See Me Shine. And they're off and pacing. Nassau Hanover towards the inside, hustles out of there. Looks like Magical Arthur will drop in behind in second. Beacon Sealster quickly cuts over to the pylons to get in front of HP Momentum fourth. Then it was Rainbow Nation, followed by Sports Fan, and See Me Shine after that break will be the trailer. They're going into the first turn. Nassau Hanover is the leader. Magical Arthur will sit there in second, about a length and 3/4 off the lead as they go through an opening panel of 30-1. They'll move up into the backstretch, and your leader is Nassau Hanover. Racing second, Magical Arthur. Couple of lengths going back to Beacon Sealster in third. Then about 2.5 to HP Momentum. Racing in fifth is Rainbow Nation, followed by Sports Fan and See Me Shine. And now we have got a move at the front as Magical Arthur comes around for Scott Young and will take over the lead from Nassau Hanover, racing past the half in 59-1. So they were moving right along there in the second quarter as the race was clocked there in 29 seconds. A tad bit quicker for your new leader, Magical Arthur, who is just charging along around the final turn, leading it by nearly 4. Nassau Hanover in second. Third continues to be the debuting Beacon Sealster. Then we go a half dozen lengths back to HP Momentum. Rainbow Nation moves to the outside. Sports Fan will follow, and See Me Shine is in seventh. 3/4 time, 1:27-1. So that was a 28-second third split there for Magical Arthur, and he'll try to complete the trick here as he leads it by about 4 lengths. Back in second is Nassau Hanover. Beacon Sealster is in third. Then we go well back to the rest, less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and Magical Arthur looks good on the lead here. It'll be Magical Arthur to close this one out. He'll win it, and he'll take this one by about 4.5 at the line. Nassau Hanover was second. Third went to Beacon Sealster. Then it was Sports Fan up into fourth, followed by HP Momentum, Rainbow Nation, and See Me Shine. 1:55-4 for Magical Arthur.
One we didn't talk a whole lot about prior to that race, Magical Arthur, the number 4, good-looking homebred of Dave Lumsden of Ancaster. Son of Artspeak kicks in with big back half speed to score in 55-4. Really impressive, I thought, and seemed to be on cruise control coming to the finish.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I guess we should have seen it coming. Anthony Beaton has a lot of nice young horses, and this one certainly turns in a big performance in his first time.
With the conclusion of qualifier number 7, we will now take an intermission. Qualifiers to resume around you.
Sons of Sports Writer finishing 1, 2, 3 there. Artspeak, the sire of the winner, the Sports Writer second and third, I should say, with Nassau Hanover and Beacon Sealster in the runner-up spot. They both look good, no threat to the winner as well, but things can level out over the course of the next few weeks, and that's what's always interesting is when you see the flashy times now, you can get caught up in those horses, and they're kind of the now horses, but a month from now, things can look dramatically different.
Yeah, I think I heard Sylvain Filion once say that time only matters when you're in jail. So I think that is rings true in harness racing, especially when right now in these races there's no money in the line yet, right? These are just races to educate and to prep. Certainly you want to see good performances, but again, I wouldn't pay too close attention to just what the times are, especially the ones that are looking nice in behind.
Yeah, and I think the big difference too, Rob, when they get into racing 2-3 weeks from now, you're not going to get halves in a minute and 1:01 and then sprint home in 26, 27 seconds. It's going to be dramatically different there, and you're going to have to carry your speed for 3 or 4 quarters versus basically sprinting a quarter now. So I think that makes efforts like from what we saw from a horse like Two-Step Colby earlier, where they showed that good early speed and then the ability to be kind of 2 fingers in the middle half and then, find that other gear again in the home stretch.
Yeah, I love horses that can produce, strong bookend halves, which is the first quarter, the last quarter. Also like when horses can, travel progressively quicker throughout the mile in each of their quarters as well. That's what I usually look for in these races.
Alrighty, well, it's been a really entertaining opening half of today's 14-race session here from Woodbine Mohawk Park. We are going to take a break now, and we'll give you about a half an hour or so to get ready for the second half of this morning's session. You're watching live coverage of the baby races on COSA-TV.
Dark Horse. Download the app today.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Yeah, hi, I'm Don Beatson. I'm the trainer and the part owner of So Much More.
So Much More now takes the lead, less than an eighth of a mile to go. Coming through latest Parisian Blue Chip. She's been in it since the word go. So Much More with the lead coming into deep stretch, and it's So Much More to win again.
We thought we were getting probably like some of the other ones we had bought, a horse that we could just and maybe even do in the stake races. You never know, but that would have been a step up from what we actually thought we were getting, I think. But right away, she showed more. When she first came off the trailer, the truck driver said, "Oh, she's a nice filly. She'll probably do in the grassroots around here." And I said, "Well, we hope she does." And that's about it. But she wasn't big, but other than that, everything was good. The very first race was the grassroots at London. It was like 10 days after we got her landed here. The next race was the grassroots race for the fillies at London. She won that. Yeah, she won that race in 1:54.2, I think, and we were really, our eyes were open after that. We thought, and we did, we tried the Gold Series a couple of times, and that was fine. She worked good, but she didn't have the greatest luck in there, so we decided to stick with the grassroots for that year. And she was, every time in there, she was really good. It's been amazing. She surprises us pretty much every time we race.
I mean, we've raced all our lives at Clinton and London and Hanover and Grand River, and before that, tracks that aren't even around anymore, Elmira and Orangeville and Goderich, and to be able to go to Mohawk and win on a consistent basis, it's so exciting. I mean, you dream about it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a heck of a ride for a small grassroots stable like ours, where we're only racing one horse these days. It's really special.
Hi, I'm Travis.
I'm Maddie.
And we're at our training center, the former Dream Fair Farm in Ingersoll, Ontario. We have 5 or 6 here now. We've turned one out, got rid of one. We used to have 15 or 20, but we've cut back substantially, I guess, due to unable to find help, and I guess because I'm driving all the time, it's hard to do both. So the early mornings and stuff just don't really work?
Normally I come in early. I try to get here around 7. I guess that's not super early, but I do our horses at home, feed them, and then I come here. I turn everybody out. They all get outside every day. I do all their stalls, scrub buckets, set feeds, and then Travis comes in a little bit later because he does the baby. He takes care of Kingston at home, gets him all settled for the day, and then he comes around, it depends.
Between 9
what
and
time.
10.
Between 9 and 10. And then we get on the track. Depends on the day. I sometimes jog if it's not too cold, or I just keep him and Francis, who we
I'm
work
glad you
with,
admitted that.
keep them out on the track, and I kind of get everybody harnessed, stripped, and bathed.
I was pretty well born into it, I think. Had no interest in it until, I guess, after high school. I don't want to say it was forced on me, but I was always just in the barn, and I just always kept coming back to me, so I figured give it a shot, I guess. And then I started getting to know people in the business and friends, and then you just keep, it's just hard to get away from at that point. And then I think she met me, and that's how she got, well, her parents have a breeding farm, right? They have Twin Brook, so she's been kind of involved, but not on this side.
Yeah, I grew up at Twin Brook. My parents have a breeding farm. I helped them out. They always tried to push us to go to school, but we always came back to the horses. I actually went to school for massage therapy in London, so I did a 3-year program there. It's the equivalent of a human massage program. So this works out, I can actually massage on the side, but I still always come back. Once I met Travis, I always come back to the racing part of it too. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if it's like a competitive thing or a lifestyle, or I don't even know what it is, but for some reason you always come back to it at some point. I don't know, like you try and get away from it, but it always, you just get sucked back into it somehow. So we usually don't get through a day without her screaming at me. So if we can limit to the yelling at me like once or twice, it's usually a good day.
Yeah. I don't know. In the big picture, it's great working together, and I don't know, to be able to say that you work and do everything every day with your husband is cool, but definitely a lot of challenges and arguments because we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And
I guess you always shoot for as high as you can be, but I guess you're only as good as the horses you have in your barn and the horses you're driving. So for me, I'd obviously love to drive the best horses in Ontario, but just win as many races as we can. I guess that's all we can try and do.
We'd love to have, we kind of got down the last couple of years. We've just had bad luck and not the greatest go of things, so it's kind of got us down a little bit. Like, we'd love to have a couple of good stake horses. Obviously, I guess that's everybody's dream, but
just horses that that you'd enjoy racing more than anything. You know what I mean? You can go to the track and enjoy racing them. Hopefully you make a little bit of money.
And no matter if you're racing in the bottom class or the top class, it's still about the horse, and it's fun just to be able to do what's right for them and take care of them, I guess.
There's lots of competition out there, so it doesn't matter, young, old, I think you're always going to have competition out there. There's lots of young guys out there starting out, so and they have people behind them too right away. So it's always going to be competitive.
I think right now it's a little bit scary, obviously, with the whole COVID and the shutdowns and everything too. And I think there's always going to be struggles in the business, but it's going to take the younger generation like us to try and push to make it better and hopefully get it to what it should be.
And welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park. Just finishing up our mid-morning break. Greg Blanchard alongside Robert Reed Jr. joining us for the first time today. Great to have him on board. Mark McKelvey, of course, calling all of the action. And nice day. The sun's starting to peek out here a little bit. It's been a bit overcast, but all in all, nice day weather-wise. And we're seeing that translate to big times on the racetrack. We figured we would. We're now into week 3. We're starting to see some progression. And some of these guys really want to be ready to fire at first asking, and we saw that today by virtue of that 153 and 4 clocking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of horses drop significant time today, especially the ones that have already had a qualifier under their belt. Some right off the bench too, right? Making their first start, producing big speed. So the weather certainly has helped with that, but I'm excited to see a lot of these horses get into real action from some of the previous winners we've seen on the card today.
Yep. Now, are you making some notes? I know, again, you've got that horse player journal you write for the program. You do the handicapping now at Grand River and some other things. So you making some notes? Or you trying to identify a couple that maybe are just going to be a little bit under the radar when they make that first start?
Yeah, for sure. I've been making notes all day, and I mean, a couple of them that caught my eye was you actually highlighted the horse was Twin B Archie. Kipper Whippersnipper was obviously a rock-solid winner, won by 11 lengths, but Twin B Archie, I thought, did all he was asked to do in finishing second in that one. So that's one I put a big circle around, because those ones where a horse gets beat by that big of a margin are pretty hidden when they come out for their first start.
Well, baby races today, we've got 14 in total, 7 in the books and 7 more to come. We're focusing on the colts and geldings today, both trotters and pacers. And here's a look at the field of trotters coming up next in qualifier 8. 7 of them are set to go behind the starting gate, and we'll see a variety of stallions represented in here. The late Cadabra has one in post 7 starter Real Cool Moves. Archangel, I like what we've seen from his offspring the first couple of weeks. He's got 2 in here. The Champ, who made a miscue last time out for the father-son combination of Dave and Ryan Holiday, and also number 3, St. Ives. This one finished 6th last week in the debut, just raced evenly. Rob Fellows has already sent a winner out on the program today. He'll team up with Trevor Henry this time around, and another one of those, as we've mentioned a few times today, that will really look for that noticeable improvement or jump up in time from week 1 to today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we'll see this one drop significant time, 2:03 and 2 last time with a 31-second final quarter. I would certainly think they'll be looking for a much better performance today, and I think we're going to see that too from number 2, Duly Resolved. I'm excited to see this one in his follow-up effort after a nice one last time, coming home in 28 and 2.
We want to thank COSA-TV for making this live coverage possible once again this year. Thank you to our friends here at the Woodbine Entertainment Group for accommodating us as well. Always fun to be here at this time of year. And a thank you today as well to our friends at Winback Farm. They've donated 5 baseball caps that we're going to give away. Enjoying hearing where everybody is watching in from today. Leave us a comment or question if you got it, and we'll try and get those to you as well. But later today, we're going to be drawing 5 names to win those Winback Farm baseball caps. And they'll be donating some other prizes for us throughout the season as we begin our live coverage coming up soon as well. And it starts, in fact, a week from this Sunday. We'll be up in Clinton Raceway for this year's edition of the Kin Pace Final. They've got eliminations this weekend. And just great to see racing in full swing, including the Ontario Sire Stakes just around the corner here in Ontario.
Yeah, racing now, rocking and rolling across the province, and in that first destination, Clinton. It's always a good race, that Kin Pace. So excited to see that one for sure.
There's a look at the OSS schedule for the opening weekend. It starts on Thursday, Canada Day, July 1st. We've got 2 divisions here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Back on Friday night with the 2-year-old filly pacers. The Glamour Boys are here on Saturday, as well as the rookie colt pacers. That same night, Hiawatha Horse Park in Sarnia will welcome grassroots 3-year-old colt trotters. The Ontario Sire Stakes getting set to go for 2021. For complete information, make sure to visit their website, OntarioSireStakes.com. We said earlier too, Robert, it's just great to be here. I mean, the atmosphere of being at the racetrack simply can't be replicated. We try our best with this type of coverage to really bring the experience home to you, but being here, it's so nice, and especially on a day like today, we're seeing all of the top trainers and drivers, these good-looking youngsters in person, and just the atmosphere being on the tarmac. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been way too long for me personally, Greg, and like I said to you, just hearing the horses behind me, you know, and the sights and the smells are just, it's just a real welcome, something that was much needed for me anyways, being a huge fan of the sport.
Invigorating, to say the least, and we've got trotters now making their way out to the track for today's 8th qualifier. Want to welcome in our viewers from British Columbia today, and we've got Reed Curtin joining us from there. Hello, Reed, and hello to everybody tuning in today. Hello again to Mark McKelvey, he's up top. And Mark, what was the highlight for you in the first half of today's session?
Effort 153.4, which we kind of waiting for one of those miles to really wow us, and I guess we got it at the end of last week's session with Pearl Snaps and what ended up being a bit of a speed duel in the final baby race a week ago. But Lions Lou, real strong performance. I was talking to a couple folks who had mentioned that Trainer Beaton had a good looking Sweet Lou, and that one certainly ended up living up to the hype so far, so we'll see there. And also you know, got to give a shout out to my good buddy Jim Gillespie's father there, Tim Gillespie, his Colby two-step. Real good debut for that youngster, doing it all in the front end, winning in 157. So some good standout performances, and we'll see how the back half can deliver. Just taking a peek down there, and they've yet to get the starting gate out on the track, so we got a little bit of time.
I would agree, Mark. I think that Better Than Cheddar debut was impressive. I mean, the time not nearly as flashy, but first start behind the gate and showed us a lot. It really caught our attention, I think, the way the horse started the mile and finished the mile and handled in between. Mark, I want to ask you, as we're really getting set to embark on the stakes season in earnest, and of course, this venue plays host to some of the biggest stakes in the sport. Is there one in particular you're looking forward to more than the others this year, one particular race?
Typically my answer, I usually try to go away from the Pepsi North America Cup. You know, it is the most prestigious race, but for myself, I usually get pretty excited about the Metro Pace, and I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that, you know, we're here on days like today for the baby races. You are watching the future stars, and the Metro Pace has been a race that at some times you've got a real standout going into it. Other times the winner, that's their launching pad. You know, you think back to 2004 when Rock and Roll Hanover won the Metro Pace. He was an upset winner. It's probably hard to believe that if you didn't really know the kind of the starting for a horse like that, because you'd think after the great career he'd had, how could he have been an upset winner in the Metro Pace? But that's a race that I've always hold pretty close. That's one that I really enjoy. The Mohawk Million, though, guys, I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out this year, especially having had the original or the inaugural one last year. It gave everybody just an opportunity to sort of understand the concept, and I think we will see a lot more wheeling and dealing done this time around, especially considering we've got a few groups that have purchased 2 slots, so there's going to be plenty of movement. I think there'll be a lot more chatter this time in the weeks leading up to just who is going to buy slots, who's going to try and get into that race, and of course we still do have that added wrinkle that the Wellwood winner gets the 10th and final slot. So we'll see how that one goes for the second time around, but September is going to be a whole lot of fun, just like it was a year ago.
All right, thank you, Mark, and we'll catch up with you throughout the back half of today's program. Mark mentioned the wheeling and dealing that's going to be done in the Mohawk Million, and speaking of that, Sire wheeling and dealing represented in here by post 6 starter Wania, making the debut. First look at this one that we are getting, a $50,000 yearling purchase. Blair Burgess trains and is scheduled to drive here today. as well. And wife Karen shares in the ownership with Clay Horner, Anderson Farms, and Sterling Fisher. And Blair, no stranger to stakes trotters, of course, a two-time winner of the Hambletonian.
Yeah, absolutely, and looking forward to see this one go behind the gate. Blair calls his own number today in the bike, and I think we'll certainly see better things to come from this one beyond today as well, and this one making its first attempt behind the starting gate.
And I just have to look around and make sure that the horse is indeed out on the track, and I'm not sure, and that's the one downside of this, is that sometimes we don't get all of the changes, so we talk about a horse and it turns out they're scratched. I don't think I see the 6 out there, unfortunately, so maybe not going to go post-race as scheduled today. But we do have 6 of them assembling. Here's Mark with the call of qualifier 8.
Colton Gelding Trotter, scratch number 6, Juania. Number 1, the Champ, Ryan Holiday for trainer Dave Holiday, owned by Caroline Holiday. Archangel Colt. 2 is Duly Resolved. Resolved Colt, owned by Back Stable, David Hudson, Don Allenson, and Gaelic Stable. John Bax trains, Paul McDonnell drives, $30,000 Lexington buy. 3 is St. Eves, and Archangel Colt, owned by Yolanda Fellows, Blair Corbeil, and Trojan Horse. Rob Fellows trains, Trevor Henry will drive, a $12,000 Harrisburg purchase. 4 is Delgado, a Trixton Gelding, owned by Bob Young, who also trains. He shares ownership with Russell Pickup. Scott Young will drive, $25,000 Lexington buy. 5 is DeChambeau, a gelded son of Cadavra, owned by Gary Lance, Paul Reed, BC Reichheld Stables, and Tony Casha. Paul Reed trains and drives, a $30,000 Harrisburg buy. 6 is out, and 7 is Real Cool Moves, a Cadavra colt owned by Lake Curie Gold, trained by Gerard Demers. Louis Waugh drives, $7,000 Ontario Select purchase. Starting 8 swings into the stretch. Trotters are picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and trotting. Duly Resolved is off to a nice beginning. So too is St. Eves. Then also from the center is Delgado. So 2, 3, and 4 on the gate. And that's how they'll stride out now. 1, 2, 3. On the outside, Real Cool Moves. From the inside, the Champ. And then DeChambeau. And to the first turn they will go. And it'll be Duly Resolved out to the front. St. Eves is in second. Delgado to settle in third. Off stride at the back went DeChambeau, making a miscue. To the opening quarter, and another breaker. Off stride went Real Cool Move. So a couple of breakers before the opening quarter, which was trotted in 30 and 3. Into the back stretch, and it's a loose lead here of 4 lengths for Duly Resolved. In second is St. Eves. Now going around that rival will be Delgado, who is followed by the Champ. Going back then to DeChambeau and the other breaker, Real Cool Moves. So Duly Resolved just doing this all by himself, a $30,000 Lexington Select purchase. The Son of Resolve and Paul McDonnell are leading it. Racing in second is Delgado, coming up to the midway point, which is reached in 1 minute and 2/5. On to the final turn. It is Duly Resolved, leading it by 3. Delgado in second, a couple of lengths back to St. Eves in third. Fourth is the Champ. Then we go back probably about a dozen lengths to DeChambeau and well back to Real Cool Moves. Duly Resolved and Paul McDonnell have been showing the way. They approach the third marker. The lead is a little over a length and a half as Delgado inches a little closer. That Trixton Gelding ready for the stretch drive. 1:30 and 4 for 3 quarters into the stretch off a 30 and 2/3 panel. Your leader continues to be Duly Resolved. Second is Delgado. Back in third, St. Eves. Widest of them all, the Champ. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. Duly Resolved got down to business here today and is going to take it. Delgado will finish about a length and 3/4 back there in second. Third goes to the Champ, and fourth was St. Eves. 2 minutes flat for Duly Resolved.
A rock-solid, workmanlike effort from Duly Resolved. Paul McDonnell teaming up with trainer John Bax, and the Son of Resolved, a winner in 2 minutes with 59 and 3 back half speed. And we look at the slow-mo, that's kind of a nice way of going. Not a real big colt, but compact and the head down and reaching for racetrack.
Yeah, I was looking forward to watching this one today. I liked the way he looked last time on June 11th, and nice winning effort there. Paul McDonnell didn't ever really have to ask this one, and solid looking colt under the line there. And how about the season Paul McDonnell's having?
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? Kind of a resurgence for Big Mac, and yeah, he's very good at this point in his career, especially with these young horses, and another guy that really knows how to bring them along the right way in these kinds of qualifying races. John Bax, his record speaks for itself, and I think they've got a good one on their hands here.
Oh, absolutely. I love the progression from first start to second start, and I think we'll see good things from Duly Resolved. Is a half brother to Bright Eyes, winner of over $300,000.
And a son of Trixton Delgado, finishing in the runner-up spot. Trixton, of course, a great career on the racetrack. In his 19 starts, won 12 times and banked almost $1 million for Team Tactor, and has been making an impact in the stallion ranks. This guy has looked good from what we saw today. And the Champ, maybe just a quick thought on that one. Rebounded after a mistake in the middle half of the race last week.
Yeah, I liked the way this one closed up. Was in the center of the track, and certainly a much better effort than the miscue last time. And I'm assuming the name must be a reference to Conor McGregor, I guess. Champ.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. We and you know we had the boxing reference last week. Marvin Hagler, he's back in today, I think, as well. Well, there he is. Yeah, he's in this upcoming 9th race, post-6 starter there. So that's our cue to turn our attention. We've got another field of trotters coming up here, 7 of them in total, including the Creatine brother to the stakes-winning Beads. And Beads is one that race fans have seen in recent weeks doing some good things. He won a graduate leg last weekend at the Meadowlands in 151. Ultra fast trotter from the Per Engblom stable, and closing in on $350,000 in career earnings. So we'll see if this one goes. Now, Blair had one scheduled back in qualifier 8 who did not start. Blair Burgess is the trainer and driver on this one as well. So we'll keep an eye out and see if King Cactus, number 5, will indeed be taking part in this one. Don Corleone, number 3, one of several today by the aforementioned Muscle Mass. You know, when you were in recent years trying to figure out, well, who's going to be that heir apparent for Cadabra at some point, it seems like right now he is certainly the it horse on the trotting side in Ontario.
Oh, for sure. You can't open a program, especially on OSS night, without seeing a huge number of Muscle Mass colts and fillies. So I certainly think that it's his time, and some nice ones in this stash for sure.
There's Marvin Hagler, number 6. We talked about him a moment ago, a son of Crazed, owned by Mary Pedden and Mark McCory. Mark trains this guy, Sylvain Filion, in the driver's seat. So, you know, they're coming back this week wanting to atone. The horse made a break early in the mile last week, so you know, you've got a week to make any changes or you know, work with the horse and try and get him in a better frame of mind coming in today. There's a look at Don Corleone. We talked about that one. Big strapping colt, kind of an eye catcher as he makes his way out to the track. Son of Muscle Mass, as mentioned. Ron McDonald, the trainer, and son Brett, one of the top young drivers in the province, will be on board. Ron actually bred this guy and is the sole owner of Don Corleone. A good-looking individual. There is a 7-3 Finger Pour, our first look at this one, and another son of Muscle Mass.
Yeah, and nearly a $16,000 yearling purchase, and interesting to see how this one does his first time behind the starting gate. Only 3 in the race have a qualifier under their belt, so this one will certainly be interesting to watch.
Got a look at Marcel Barrio a moment ago there with Archery Sealster as they make their way into the backstretch here. This wheeling and dealing colt did qualify a week ago, finished third. It was a 3 across finish, and he was only beaten 3/4 of a length. He was in tight quarters coming to the end, but he was right there with them. 2:03 and 3 was his individual clocking, and you know they'll be looking for more speed from that guy today. Let's go up to Mark and quickly get that rundown of the 8th before the 9th assembles behind the gate.
Thank you very much, Greg. Yes, checking out the rundown from qualifier number 8. The champ finished 3rd. Duly Resolved was your winner. St. Eves 4th. Then Delgado 2nd. DeChambeau was 5th. Juanilla was scratched, and Real Cool Moves was 6th. 2 minutes even for the winner. Duly Resolved, giving Resolve a winner here this morning. Starting gate now moving for the 9th qualifier.
Here we go for the 9th baby race. 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters. Add trotting hobbles to number 3, Don Corleone. 1, Marauder Sealster, a muscle mass colt, trained by Amanda Fine. Louis Waugh drives, $55,000 yearling buy. This one's owned by Steve Heimbecker. 2 is Guinness, a muscle mass colt, back stable, the Cavalier stable, going to the show stable, and Ken Bax are the owners. John Bax trains, Matt Bax drives, $22,000 yearling purchase. 3 is Don Corleone, a muscle mass colt, bred, owned, and trained by Ron McDonald. Brett McDonald drives. 4 is Archery Sealster, a wheelin' and dealin' colt owned by Gestion Mastel and Marcel Berrio. Berrio trains and drives, an $85,000 yearling purchase. 5 is King Cactus, a creatine colt. Karen Olsen Burgess, Linnea Lindstrom, and James Walker are the owners. Blair Burgess trains and drives, a $40,000 yearling buy. 6 is Marvin Hagler, a craze colt owned by Mary Pedden and Mark McQuarrie. Mark McQuarrie trains. Sylvan Filion drives, $13,000 yearling purchase. And 7, 3 Finger Pour, a muscle mass colt. Leo Fleming, Bill Main, Stephen Papillon, and Bill Cripps are your owners. Leo Fleming trains. Phil Houdon drives, $15,000 yearling purchase. Trotters for the 9th qualifier. Starting gate swings into the stretch. Wind has picked up a little bit here this morning at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Here they come for the 9th. And they're off and trotting. Guinness steps out from the inside, from the center. There goes Marvin Hagler firing the first blow. On the outside between horses, Archery Sealster getting away 4th is Marauder Sealster. Then it'll be 3 Finger Pour looking to settle in 5th in front of Don Corleone, and your trailer is King Cactus. Into the first turn they go. Filion being careful here with Marvin Hagler. He made a miscue last week in the early going. This time, though, he's trotting well to the opening panel. He'll be the leader, but not for long. Archery Sealster will come around. 31 and 3 was the opening quarter. So Archery Sealster will clear his lead to be short-lived, as here is Marauder Sealster for Louis Waugh, who will trot right on to the top. So it'll be Marauder Sealster to take command with 3/8 of the mile now complete. Racing in 2nd is Archery Sealster. 3rd is Marvin Hagler. Trotting 4th is Guinness, followed 5th by 3 Finger Pour, and then your trailer 6th. That is King Cactus. One more back there, as Don Corleone is your trailer. They're approaching the midway point, and Marauder Sealster goes past the half in 1:02 and 4. On to the final turn. It's a couple of lengths here for Marauder Sealster in front of Archery Sealster. 2 lengths then back to Marvin Hagler 3rd. About that same margin to Guinness. Another couple back to 3 Finger Pour, King Cactus, and Don Corleone your trailer. So here's Marauder Sealster. 2nd qualifier for this son of Muscle Mass. Finished 4th in his debut, was 4th throughout the entire mile. They change it up this time around. He's on the front, and he's past 3/4 in 1:33. So turning for a home. And Marauder Sealster will try to outsprint his rivals. He's got the jump on them of a few lengths. Archery Sealster in 2nd. On the outside is Marvin Hagler. 3 Finger Pour trying to get up into 4th over Guinness. Then we go back to King Cactus and Don Corleone, your trailer. 16th of a mile remaining. It is Marauder Sealster and Waugh with the lead. Marvin Hagler's going to get a little closer, but will come up about a length short. At the line, it was Marauder Sealster. Over Marvin Hagler, Archery Sealster, then 3 Finger Pour, Guinness, King Cactus, and Don Corleone. 2:01 and 4, 28 and 4, final quarter for Marauder Sealster.
(2:01 and 4), the win time for Marauder Sealster, stepping up after that 2:04 and 1 individual clocking a week ago, where the son of muscle mass was a 4th place finisher. Handled more aggressively today and responded well. 59 seconds, the back half, 28.4 speed. And speaking of stepping up and bouncing back as well, Marvin Hagler, the runner-up finisher, and he looked good. You know, nice tight lines coming to the wire, minded his manners today, and substantially better.
Yeah, we talked about progressing and intoning for that miscue last time, and Sylvain Fillion had a big hold of this horse in the stretch, and I don't think it was to keep him on his gate. I think he just wanted to, you know, just cruise up and move alongside the winner there under the wires. So I definitely impressed me there for number 6, Marvin Hagler.
And 3rd place finisher Archery Sealster, finishing 3rd for the 2nd consecutive week for trainer driver Marcel Barrio. That son of Wheeling and Dealing looks ready to go. 201 and 4, not the flashiest win time we've seen from trotters over this first 3 weeks, but just the way that they did it, I think suggests that the top 3 certainly are ready to compete at first asking when they make their pari-mutuel debuts. Again, we welcome you to live coverage this morning. You're watching the baby races from Woodbine Mohawk Park on COSA-TV on a variety of platforms. Number of people watching us from around North America and other parts of the world as well. We'll say hello to Brian Gibb. Brian rode in and really looking forward to watching our last couple today, because he's got Gold Rush Sealster and Stu's Watching in there, a couple that he picked out at the sale that he liked, and he wants to keep following them. He'll be keeping an eye today all the way from Scotland. So thank you, Brian, for tuning in and dropping us a note as well. Dan Clements watching in today as well. Hi to Dan. And yeah, he relocated down London way, son Ryan down there. He's got his own little tech startup business, of course, well known for that, and a man of many talents. He's, I think, the track photographer this year at Clinton, you know, doing a bit of training. He owns race horses as well. So the Clements family, certainly well known in harness racing circles here in Ontario as well. So again, hello to everybody watching in today. Still plenty of coverage left to come. We are moving next to race 10, another group of trotters here, a field of 7. We'll go to the post and we look at the different stallions represented in here. One of them is Royalty for Life, and of course he's been a mainstay in Ontario the last few seasons. Some big news on that guy. He's recently been sold to Ohio interests. You know, a big story in its own right. But then we come to read, as we look a little bit further into it, he'll be kind of doing double duty there. He'll be breeding standardbreds, of course, but trying to obviously produce some other horses in different disciplines.
Wow. So, you know, talented horse, talented sire, and now he's going to have some multitasking on his hands, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Reportedly a 7-figure deal as well. And they think there's a lot of potential for him in the road horse breed discipline as well. They expect he'll be an impact stallion and bolster the Ohio program as well. That's a program that's really on the way up in the last couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you see a lot of nice horses come out of Ohio, and you know, I enjoy watching their Sire Stakes program for sure.
All right, there's a look at the field for the 10th. They're making their way out of the track here. Another group of trotters, Angels Express. And Archangel gelding will occupy post 1 for Tom Durand, the trainer and driver. Tom, another gentleman that over the years has had a number of top trotters. Casual Breeze immediately comes to mind. This son of Archangel is a sibling to Mr. Magic, a regular face on our circuit. Career winner of almost $250,000. And there is a look at Tom and number 1, Angels Express. Matt Bax will be on board the number 3 Unresolved Debt, teaming up with Father John, who trains this son of Resolved. We'll see if the Bax stable can send out another winner. And there's Louis Philippe on one of the Royalty for Lifes in the field, number 5, Flashpoint. What kind of body language are you looking for when you watch these horses come out, Rob?
Most of the time, Greg, I look for horses that are relaxed, right? This is, like we said earlier, the first time they're in these surroundings. You want to see horses that are relaxed and comfortable, and about to go and do work for the first time in a chartered race. So I look for horses that are, seem like they are, comfortable in what they're about to do. You don't want to see a horse too fired up, especially in the trotters, because that might lead to some misbehaving during the mile.
Luca Hanover, number 6, we just had a look at that one briefly on screen. Another son of Resolve from the Malabar Man mare Lady Bar that makes this one a sibling to the $1.2 million winner Looking Hanover. Francis Dumichel has sent out a couple of starters this morning, and Luca Hanover was 5th a week ago. Another that raced pretty evenly, was charted in 2:02 and 3, certainly handled well, and we'll just be looking probably to drop at least a second or two in time here this morning. Had a look a moment ago at Matt Bax with the John Bax pupil Unresolved Debt. That one did make a mistake last week, approaching the half, and finished 6th, and we'll see if a week makes a difference for that one as they get ready to go for qualifier 10. Before that, let's go back up to Mark McKelvey.
Thank you very much, Greg. Here's the rundown from the 9th qualifier. Marauder Sealster the winner. Guinness was 5th. Don Corleone 7th. Archery Sealster 3rd. King Cactus was 6th. Marvin Hagler 2nd. And Three Finger Pour was 4th. It's a 2:01 and 4, 28 and 4 last quarter for the winner. Marauder Sealster takes it by 3 parts of a length over Marvin Hagler. Starting gate about to move into position for the 10th qualifier. Looks like we've got 6 of them on the track, so there might be one scratch. We'll just confirm that and introduce you to the field here in a second. Yep, we're going to scratch number 7, PC Double Down. Here we go for the 10th baby race. Scratching number 7, PC Double Down. Number 1 is Angels Express, an Archangel gelding. June Duran owns. Tom Duran trains and drives. $23,000 yearling. 2, Forest, is a muscle mass colt owned by 2790884 Ontario Inc. Trained by Ken Susi. Paul McDonnell drives. $12,000 yearling purchase. 3 is Unresolved Debt, a gelded son of Resolve. Bax stable. Marshall Bax are your owners. John Bax trains. Matt Bax drives. 4, Down the Fence, is a Royalty for Life colt owned by Dustin Jones Stables. Also the breeders, Dustin Jones will train and drive. 5 is Flashpoint, a Royalty for Life colt owned by Bill Donovan, Purnell, and Libby, trained by Meg Crone. Louis Waugh drives, $52,000 yearling purchase. And 6 is Luca Hanover, a Resolve colt owned by Francis Dumichel, Acurie CSL, OAS 2021, and 917479998 Quebec Incorporated. Francis Dumichel trains, James McDonald drives, a $45,000 yearling purchase. Scratch number 7, PC Double Down. Half dozen of them on the gate. 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters for the 10th. Starting gate to the top of the stretch, a field of 6 on gate for the 10th. Picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and trotting. Off to a very even beginning with the quickest away from post 1 out to spot number 1. That is Angels Express. And in the debut for this gelding, he steps out to the early command. Here's Luca Hanover on the outside, trotting up well. He'll be able to settle in second in front of Forest in third. Down the fence, will get over to the fence in fourth. And then racing fifth, that is Unresolved Debt. Your early trailer is Flashpoint to the opening quarter. It's a length and a half advantage for Angels Express. 30-1 was the opener. On to the backstretch they'll go. The debuting Angels Express leads it by a length and a half. Luca Hanover in his second qualifier races right there in the 2-hole, right on the leader's back. Tightly grouped as well is Forest, as down the fence Unresolved Debt and your trailer Flashpoint. So they're all really right there, pretty much almost nose to helmet as it gets for a baby race coming to the midway point. Angels Express approaching the half, and the half's going to be recorded here in 102 and 4. So they were back down there in that second quarter off a 30-1 opener. They went 32-3 in the second quarter. It is Angels Express leading it, a $23,000 yearling purchase. Here's Angels Express and trainer driver Tom Duran leading it 5-8 to the mile now in the books. Luca Hanover in second. Now from third, McDonnell gives his cue to Forrest, and Forrest is coming quickly, attacking on the outside. Down the fence is fourth. Then we go to Unresolved Debt and Flashpoint. Angels Express has some company up to the wheel and trying to get to the saddlecloth. That is Forrest, and Forrest now draws up on even terms, 133-2 for 3/4. The sprint is on as they head down the stretch. Forrest on the outside trying to muscle on by Angels Express, who digs in and is putting up a game fight. Now looking to come up the inside is Luca Hanover to try and pick off those two rivals. Angels Express won't give way. Forrest on the outside, up the inside, Luca Hanover. 3 of them coming down to the line, and Angels Express digs in and fights them off to win it. Second was Luca Hanover. Third was Forrest. 202-1 for Angels Express.
So the win time, 202-1. You don't want to get too excited, but on the other hand, I think if you're the connections of Angels Express, you like what you saw. The horse had one coming up the inside, one on the outside, and both really had every chance to go by, but Angels Express did not want to get past in the late stages.
Yeah, finishing 3 across there, and young horses don't usually like that, Greg, with horses both on their inside and outside, and I think it was a solid effort from all 3 of those trotters in that one.
Yeah, Luca Hanover, same scenario, had to go down and try and squeeze up a bit of a tight spot on the inside, and you never know how these youngsters are going to react to that, but handled it well, and all 3 digging right to the finish in that 28-4 final quarter. So lots of ability in terms of any one of the top 3 finishers there. And we'll look forward to seeing those 3 hit the racetrack. Their pure mutual debuts will be just around the corner, I am sure. Qualifier 10 in the books, and it goes to Angels Express. This one trained and driven by Tom Duran, the sibling to $250,000 winner Mr. Magic, victorious 202-1. 10 races completed. We've got 4 more left to go here this morning. We will take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll dive into qualifier 11 from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Welcome back. We are at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We've got live racing all weekend long, including tonight. Maybe we'll tap Robert for a winner on tonight's program here somewhere along the way before we wrap up. But we'll look ahead now to qualifier 11, another field of trotters going to the post in here. I know we're both anxious, and I'm sure a lot of people at watching Drinks at Home for a second time. This one is the younger brother to Macho Martini. Of course, one of the top 2-year-old trotters in all of North America last season. This guy finished 6th last week, got away 7th, handled very conservatively. What are you expecting today, realistically, in week 2?
Well, I've been excited to see this one all day, Greg, and I would think they're going to definitely want a more forward placing for sure. I wouldn't be too concerned, though, if he doesn't go out and win. I mean, if you look at the way Macho Martini progressed, similar effort in his first qualifier. He made a break in his second. I know they certainly don't want that today for Drinks at Home, but he recovered to be second after making that break in his follow-up qualifier, and then, of course, won an OSS Gold in his first lifetime start. So I think any kind of progression like that, minus the miscue, would be something that the connections are looking for.
Yeah, Macho Martini, I mean, just an update on this guy. Last year, he went 8 for 11. He made almost $500,000, raced in most of the big dances. And he was second in his first qualifier back this year at Harrah's Philly. Was beaten there in 59-2. Has since come back to win a qualifier there in 58-4. And has yet to race, and this is a guy with Hambletonian aspirations. So, yeah, at first glance, you know, people might find that a little bit concerning, but, you know, you go back to a horse like Forbidden Trade and look at his path to winning the Hambletonian that year. It wasn't long before that where he, you know, had qualified in what was considered a really slow time, and people wondered, is he going to be ready and capable of, and let alone winning, competing in a race like the Hambletonian?
Yeah, the patience is the key, right, with these young horses. You know, the big money events come later on, and I think that you know, it doesn't make sense to rush them along in these connections. You know, Determination, Luke Blais and Bob McClure have turned it down into a science of getting these horses ready for the big races.
Yeah, and just going back to that qualifier from Forbidden Trade, on July 30th that year, he was beaten here in a qualifier in 57-3, and 2 starts later, won the Hambletonian. So, yeah, they've got that tandem. You know, they've got a history of that. They treat qualifiers really as, you know, just lessons and you know, trying to get the horse going in the right direction, and maybe almost the mental side of it as opposed to flashy time. So there is a look at the aforementioned Drinks at Home. He's a royalty for life. He's a big colt. He certainly has a presence out on the racetrack, and expectations are high for this guy. $47,000 yearling purchase for Determination, and we'll see if he can step up his game here this time around. One of 4 in this group of 7 that will be facing the starting gate for a second consecutive week. And that starting gate is now rolling. Once again, Mark McKelvey with the play-by-play.
Starting gate now moving for the 11th. Scratch number 2, Flanagan Victory, and number 7, Ander Solo. That'll be a field of 5. Starting at the rail, Jasperson. This is an Angus Hall colt owned by Andrea Lee Racing Stables. Trainer drivers Doug Finn Henriksen. Next we move on to number 3, Muscleless Massa. Muscle Mass colt owned by Knobloch Racing Stable, TM Racing, and Len Gamble. Ted McDonnell trains, Paul McDonnell will drive. 4 is Bailey Gale Sally, Royalty for Life colt owned by Nora Parks, trained by Paul Reed. Scott Young drives. 5 Twinbee Harry, Royalty for Life colt, Daniel O'Brien, Everett Hansen. The owners, O'Brien trains and drives, $13,000 yearling buy. And number 6 is Drinks at Home, a Royalty for Life colt owned by Determination, trained by Luke Blais, Bob McClure, and the bike, $47,000 yearling purchase. Starting gate swings into the stretch. A field of 5. Trotters picking up speed, and here they come for qualifier 11. And they're off and trotting. Jasperson from the rail and Musculus Massa. Those 2 show early speed. Off stride after the beginning went Twinbee Harry. Here on the outside, Drinks at Home and McClure. They're just going to step right around. They're going to the front. They want control here this morning. Ballygale Sally got away in 4th, and still off stride is Twinbee Harry. Going into the first turn, and your leader is Drinks at Home for Bob McClure. Royalty for Life colt will take him to the opening quarter on top by 1.5 lengths, 30 seconds even. So Drinks at Home serves it up as they move into the backstretch. Racing second is Jasperson, 3 lengths back then to Musculus Massa, and then fourth is Ballygale Sally, well back to Twinbee Harry. 3/8 of the mile complete. They aren't going a whole lot here in the second quarter as they follow Drinks at Home. Jasperson right on the leader's back. Then there, 2 lengths back is Musculus Massa, couple of lengths back to Ballygale Sally, the half 1:01. So it was back down 31 seconds in the second quarter after that 30-second opener. Entering the far turn, Drinks at Home, $47,000 yearling buy. Determination, Blay, and McClure. All teaming up here as they go around the final turn. Drinks at Home, the leader. Jasperson in second. Here comes Musculus Massa on the outside now, advancing. And then it's back to Ballygale Sally. 3/4 is recorded in 1:32. So back-to-back 31-second quarters for Drinks at Home. A 1:02 middle half. Drinks at Home ready to close this one out. It's last call with 1/8 of a mile to go. And Drinks at Home leads it by 3, now 4. Musculus Massa is in second. Ballygale Sally third. And Jasperson back in fourth. Drinks at Home takes care of business this morning, winning it by a pair. Time of the mile, 2 minutes, 4/5, a 28-4 final quarter.
Drinks at Home makes a much better impression this week. The Royalty for Life colt put right on the front this week by Bob McClure. We weren't shocked to see that, certainly. Nice relaxed through the middle half of a 1:02 and then turns on the jets, 28-4 on the end.
Yeah, with tight lines to Bob McClure. I think we knew right off the gate, Greg, what the intentions were with this one. Floated out and then charged for the lead. Really nice effort. And what we wanted to see, that's some big time progression for this half brother to Macho Martini, and can't wait to see this one make its parimutuel debut.
And it'll be fun to watch and see if he can progress in the next few weeks to the point where you might see him in a race down the road like the Mohawk Million. The connections, especially this owner, Serge Godin, Determination, you know, he's in it to try and compete in those types of races. Of course, the big brother will be eyeing up a Hambletonian. It would be a second Hambletonian victory for those connections if he were able to make it to that event and win. And this guy will have long-term aspirations, but in the short term, has looked good. Wins in qualifier number 2, 2 minutes and 4/5 over Musculus Massa. Our first look at this one, and chased right to the end, and another good-looking son of Muscle Mass sent out this morning for trainer Ted McDonnell and driver Paul McDonnell. No relation to well-known, well-respected, and well-liked horse people here in this area. We have 3 more left to go on this 14-race baby race marathon here in Campbellville this morning, and we're going to wrap it up with 3 consecutive pacing events. There's a look at the field for the upcoming 12th. 8 of them scheduled to go postward in this one. We're going to look at them coming out to the track here in just a moment. And one of the horses that will garner some attention, I think, coming into this will be number 1 Sports Advisor, Rick Zeron Training. He's got the services of Trevor Henry in the driver's seat today. A $32,000 yearling purchase, another son of sports writer. The mare Sharktail has produced 5 so far in her career that have made 6 figures or higher. And we've seen sports writer making his presence felt again this morning too.
Yeah, nice pedigree on this one, and you know, Rick Zeron is another one that's you know, patient with his younger horses. So it'll be interesting to see what we see from this one today, but one I'll certainly have my eye on.
We've only seen a couple of performers this morning that are going out for a 3rd qualifier, and one of them will come here in number 2 War of Will. This is a Captain Treacherous son of the Rock and Roll Hanover mare Wish for Rock and Roll, Blake McIntosh Training, a $75,000 yearling purchase, and obviously just not feeling that he's seen enough yet to drop him into the box, so he'll be out for a 3rd consecutive go-round this morning. Jody Jamieson took over the driving last week and scheduled to be back on board here today. Bettor's Delight, again, year in, year out, week in, week out here. We see his name sporadically all over these races, these baby races, and again, looks like he's got another bumper crop of 2-year-olds on the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. And number 5 in here, Stone Carver, is be making his second qualifier for Anthony Beaton. And I liked what this one did last time, home in 28-2. This son of Bettor's Delight, I think, will probably be looking to drop some time today and be one of the main players in here.
Their sports advisor, we talked about that one a few moments ago. Son of sports writer. Sports writer really one of those that often stamps his offspring. They've got kind of a similar size and stature and look to them, and there's a nice vantage point of that one, and some of the others getting ready to go behind the starting gate here for qualifier number 12. So scheduled for a field of 8 this time around. Let's go back upstairs and catch up with Mark McKelvey and see if he's got that rundown from back in the 11th.
The 28-4 final quarter for Drinks at Home.
Mark, there's another look at the field page here. It's going to kind of turn around and have a quick look, and from what I can tell, all 8 horses are on the track, so it looks like they're all going to be going postward here as scheduled. The father-son tandem of Greg and Doug McNair, this is always a fun time of year for them. And Greg, it seems, as each year goes by, seems to bring a deeper and deeper group to the racetrack. I mean, he's always had tremendous success, especially in the provincial program, and then in recent years, not only that, reaching out and a little more luck even on the Grand Circuit, and looks like they've got a nice group overall again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one here is one you look for some progression today. Home in 29 seconds last time. Number 6, Airy Shadow, son of Shadow Play, $60,000 yearling purchase. Should be good to go today.
Starting gate is rolling for the 12th qualifier. Phil Hudon will drive number 2, War of Will. Number 1, sports advisor, Gelded son of sports writer. Rick Ziron Stables, John Donato, your owners. Rick Ziron trains, Trevor Henry drives, $32,000 yearling purchase. 2, War of Will is a Captain Treacherous colt owned by Hutt Racing Stable and Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains, Phil Hudon drives, a $75,000 yearling. 3 is Rockaway Bay, a rock and roll dance colt owned by Clay Horner, trained by Tony O'Sullivan. Sylvan Filion drives. 4 is Beat Reporter, a sports writer colt owned by Ozzie McKay. Gilles Landry, Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains, Jody Jamieson in the bike, $23,000 yearling. 5 is Stone Carver, a Bettor's Delight colt owned by Robert Bridges, also the breeder. Tony Beaton trains, Scott Young drives. 6 is Airy Shadow, a Shadow Play colt. Greg McNair, Ilderton Boys Stable, the owners. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives, $60,000 yearling. 7, Better Have My Money is a Better Than Cheddar colt, a homebred from Alar Farms, trained by Nick Galucci with James McDonald. And 8, My Mickey Beach is an Always Be Mickey colt owned by Amanda Fine and Highland Thoroughbred Farm. Amanda Fine trains, Louis Waugh drives, a $35,000 yearling. Field of 8 picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off, and pacing, and War of Will storms out of there. It's War of Will out to the early lead. Better Have My Money also had some good gate speed, and they're rocking here in the opening 8th as it was paced in 12-4. So War of Will flies out of there. Better Have My Money get in second. 3rd is Rockaway Bay. Then driving 4th is My Mickey Beach. A few of them wide going into the turn. Stone Carver down at the inside. Beat Reporter outside. Airy Shadow, and at the inside Sports Advisor. 27 seconds flat for the opening quarter. Huge opener there for War of Will, who is absolutely charged up, and he leads them by 3 into the backstretch. So it is War of Will, the leader. Phil Hudon will try and settle him down here now and rate him in the second quarter off that 27-second opener. Back in second, but trailing by about 3 lengths. That is Better Have My Money. Third is Rockaway Bay. Then racing in fourth is My Mickey Beach, 2.5 lengths back to Stone Carver, who is tracked by Beat Reporter. Then it is Sports Advisor and Airy Shadow, 57 and 3 for the half, 30 and 3 in the second quarter. Onto the far turn they go, and War of Will, the son of Captain Treacherous, shows the way. He points them around the final turn. Better Have My Money sitting there in second, and he showed good gate speed, and he's getting the 2-hole trip. Third is Rockaway Bay. Then in fourth is My Mickey Beach. That debuter looks ready to go. Then we go about 5 lengths back to Stone Carver, to Beat Reporter, to the outside Sports Advisor, and then your trailer as they spin for home is Airy Shadow. Off 3/4, 127 flat. And it is War of Will. Here is Better Have My Money shooting on by and now taking the lead. Better Have My Money strikes the front with 1/8 of a mile to go. War of Will now hands over second to Rockaway Bay. My Mickey Beach up the inside, closing well is Stone Carver. 16th to go. Deep stretch. It'll be Better Have My Money to cash in here today to win it by 4 or 5. Second was Rockaway Bay, and then third was My Mickey Beach, and fourth was Stone Carver, 155 and 2.
Better Have My Money, victorious in qualifier number 12, was part of that early speed and got situated in the pocket early. Ultimately works out a nice trip, but the son of Better Than Cheddar, that didn't take a whole lot out of him. Despite the quick early quarter, he's got a 28 and 2 final frame in him, and on cruise control coming to the finish here with James McDonald guiding the colt for trainer Nick Gallucci and the Miller Farms.
Yeah,
we're going to see one from them later that caught our eye last week. This guy really caught my eye today.
Yeah, nice progression with this one. Beat 14 lengths last time in third, and now tonight just under a hand drive to the wire to James McDonald. And again, he's one that I keep my eye on as well with these young ones, because he knows how to keep them healthy and happy going into their pari-mutuel debuts. And this one here looked the part.
Other end of the spectrum, War of Will, the Captain Treacherous colt. He was the one that was cutting it early with that 27-second opening quarter. There's a reason, I'm sure, that he was out for a third qualifier today. Trainer Blake McIntosh, obviously, there's something that he's working on or something that he needs to see before he drops him in the box. And today wouldn't be an encouraging effort. He gave way badly in the home stretch there after that. So kind of back to the drawing board. Blake's had a good run, and this is one that's going to require a little more work to get him where he wants to be. But for Better Have My Money, looks like he's right on track. Rockaway Bay was a good second. That's a rock and roll dance colt who was fourth last week in his first start. Or third, I should say, gets up for second today and lowers his time substantially. He was charted in 2:01.1 a week ago. My Mickey Beach is a first-timer today that we were getting a look at, and Always Be Mickey colt, who was a solid third, and I'm sure the connection's happy to be third in that kind of a quick mile. So certainly seeing a lot more speed this morning than we'd seen in weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually impressed with the effort there by Rockaway Bay. Sylvain Filion looked like he had tight lines to the wire, 27 and 2 last time, and chasing that fast mile today is only going to help this one for his pari-mutuel debut, which will be soon.
So here in qualifier number 13, an interesting contest. We've got a big group of 9 slated to go postward. A return winner from last week, J.S. Love Them Ladies. A sports writer, Gelding, who won narrowly in 58 and 3. Guy Gagnon, the trainer and driver, back this week despite a win last time. So, obviously wants to make sure the horse is tight and ready for that pari-mutuel debut. Gold Rush Sealster, going to be intriguing. With the one we watched just a couple of races ago, this guy fits a similar profile. A high-priced yearling. In fact, the highest-priced yearling in Canada last year at $200,000. The Bettor's Delight colt he was just kind of okay last week, finished 5th, and hard to know what to expect today.
Yeah, didn't really get asked to do too much last time around, and I think that'll probably change in this second qualifier. They'll be looking to drop significant time from that 2 minutes and 3. Home in 29 and 4 last time, but I think that we can expect to see a lot more from this son of Bettor's Delight.
I think so, and we'll see if that is the case. Google My Chrome #1 was out last week for Blake McIntosh and finished 6th, raced evenly. We'll be looking for improvement. Sports section was one of those that I thought was sneaky good a week ago. That's your #5 starter today, a Sports Rider Colt, trained by Jared Bako, Louis-Philippe Waugh driving. Finished 3rd, but was caught into one of those back half sprints. Did pass some rivals and had good final quarter speed on the end.
Yeah, 27 and 3 is a rock solid final quarter, and this one was motoring late. Got beat 7 lengths, but again, there's no money in these races just yet. I like the fact that this one also got away, decently enough from post 8. So interesting to see what this one does today.
And it looks like the Golden Greek, Chris Christoforou, has picked up the driving assignment this week for #2, JS Love Them Ladies, for Guy Gagnon. Guy, of course, based at Rideau Carleton in Ottawa, where he's been putting up some amazing numbers the last few years. He was down to do the driving here last week. We weren't sure what to expect, but he pointed this one right to the front from the outside post in that contest and kept on going and held on for the victory. Much better post to work with today, and Chris Christoforou in tow. And I assume they'll just be looking to drop that time here a couple of seconds or so to make sure that the horse is ready and maybe get a better indication of where the horse might fit in that first start. That's interesting, isn't it, this time of year? And I talked to Mark about it last week, that if you're a trainer, you're basing these qualifiers on body language and time, and then trying to figure out whether you're going to enter first of all in a grassroots or a gold.
Yeah, it's got to be some difficult decisions out there, and I'm sure that the drivers, when they come back, probably have a lot to do with where horses go, because they certainly know the horsepower underneath them. And it's always interesting to see the ones that sometimes even graduate from the grassroots level to then move into the golds after a few starts.
And nice to have those options. And in Ontario now, the third tier to go along with that, the Prospect Series as well. So it really does give the owners who've invested in these youngsters some different options. They all progress at different rates. Some, as we've seen, are race ready right now and will be the early stars. Others will blossom as the year goes on. There's a look from high atop Woodbine Mohawk Park. Let's go back up to Mark McKelvey just prior to qualifier 13.
We're going back to the 12th to check out the order of finish. 1 Sports Advisor was 5th, 2 War of Will 6th, 3 Rockaway Bay 2nd, 4 Beat Reporter 7th, 5 Stone Carver 4th, 6 Airy Shadow 8th, 7 Better Have My Money your winner, and number 8 My Mickey Beach finished 3rd. So it was a 155 and 2 score for Better Have My Money, clicking off that 2-hole trip. 55 and 2. Nice connection there of McDonald and Gallucci. They had success yesterday, and they have throughout all the baby races basically, and they team up here nicely with that Better Than Cheddar Colt, Better Have My Money for Millar Farms. Getting set for the 13th, and it'll be a field of 9. So I think our biggest field we've seen to this point today. Starting gate now moving for the 13th. Scott Young is going to drive number 9, Fox Valley Carlin. 1 Google My Chrome. Gelded Son of Better Than Cheddar, owned by Blake McIntosh, Princeton Farms. Vaco Pinion, trained by Blake McIntosh. James McDonald drives, $25,000 yearling buy. Number 2, JS Love Them Ladies. It'll be Chris Christoforou to drive for trainer Guy Gagnon. Écurie Guy Gagnon, Gestion Louis Le Tulipe, and Les Neiges, Gestion Bruno Blouin, the owners. Guy Gagnon trains. Chris Christopher, $45,000 yearling. Is that gelded son of Sports Writer? 3 is Unlaced, a shadow play gelding. Karen Olsen Burgess owns. Blair Burgess trains and drives, $6,000 yearling. 4, Sugar Daddy Controls, a Control the Moment colt owned by Ben Moudry and Dan Legacy. Legacy trains. Sylvain Filion drives. 5 is Sports Section, a Sports Writer colt owned by Dale Kerr. Trained by Jared Bako. Louis Waugh drives, $42,000 yearling. 6 is Golden Ticket, a Sunshine Beach gelding, owned and bred by Stephen Klunowski. Carmen Osciello trains. Jonathan Drury drives. 7 is Masked Man, a Shadow Play colt, owned by M&L of Delaware. Susie Kerwood, the trainer. Jody Jameson, the driver, $25,000 yearling. 8 is Gold Rush Sealster, a Better's Light colt, owned by Steve Heimbecker and Bloomingwood Farms Limited. Greg McNair trains. Doug McNair drives, a $201,000 yearling buy. And Fox Valley Carlin is the 9. Michael Camiglio and William Richardson, along with Rhonda Gilmartin, are your owners. Paul Reed trains. Scott Young drives. The Art Speak colt was a $19,000 yearling. So they're off in pacing here in the 13th, and it is Golden Ticket from the center along with Sports Section as those two go out of there quickly. So too does Masked Man. Widest of them all is Gold Rush Sealster down at the inside. Google My Chrome, who will be followed by Unlaced. Settling in behind that rival is Sugar Daddy Controls, JS Love Them Ladies, and your early trailer, Fox Valley Carlin. Opening quarter was registered in 28-4, and the leader as they move into the backstretch is Golden Ticket. Golden Ticket first in line as they move up the backstretch. In second is Sports Section, followed closely third by Masked Man, who is tracked by Google My Chrome in fourth. 2 lengths then to Gold Rush Sealster in fifth. Sixth is Unlaced, racing in seventh is Sugar Daddy Controls. Then eighth is JS Love Them Ladies, and your trailer ninth is Fox Valley Carlin. Single file here is this group of 9. Certain to see some movement here just before the half, as near the back we see a few come to the outside. The half was recorded in 59-3. 30-4 in the second quarter, courtesy of Golden Ticket, who shows the way. Golden Ticket, though, getting green on the front, and Golden Ticket had to go a little wide there, and that was a tough spot there for Sports Section in behind, as Golden Ticket just sort of pulled up on the front. Inside is Masked Man, staying at the rail, Google My Chrome. Also along the cones is Gold Rush Sealster. To the outside, Sugar Daddy Controls. Unlaced outside of that rival, JS Love Them Ladies, and your trailer still Fox Valley Carlin. 3 quarters, 129-1. So Waugh and Sports Section had to deal with that traffic trouble, and now they have seized control, and they look to draw off. 129-1 was your 3 quarters, and Sports Section, despite that interference on the final turn, leads this one by nearly 5. Google My Chrome finishing up good as that striking individual has moved into second. Masked Man is in third, and then Sugar Daddy Controls will get fourth over Golden Ticket. Time of the mile, 1:56-4. Good performance from Sports Section.
(27-3) final quarter. That's impressive enough on its own, but the fact that this one had to check up and go around a green horse on the final turn, Robert, I think makes it even more impressive for Sports Section winning in that one's second qualifier.
Yeah, we talked before the race that we were eyeing this one and what kind of progression we'd see. Well, that was some pretty big-time progression there and maturity there with the confusion that gets caused sometimes in these baby races when horses get a little bit green. But really impressive winning performance by Sports Section.
Looks like the Connections have a good one on their hands here. This one owned by Dale Kerr of London, Ontario. Jared Bako training, Louis-Philippe Waugh in the driver's seat, and 27-3 with no urging required. Sports Section is one that we'll hear from, I think, when the pari-mutuel debut comes along. There's a different vantage point of the finish, and Cam and Alex and the team here always doing a great job. They're in the paddock, they're out trackside, they're here with us in our host location all morning long, trying to provide you unique and really entertaining camera angles. And yeah, it's nice to get a different vantage point of these horses performing here this morning, and we are glad to be able to bring it to you live on COSA-TV. Big thank you again to COSA and Woodbine Entertainment Group for making it possible. We've got one more left to go here this morning, and another return winner from a week ago is back in action. Silk Road Smash will have the outside post 9 to deal with here this week, but if he's as good as he was here on the June 19th program, I think he can certainly overcome that. That was an eye-catching win a week ago. Just not so much the time itself, but the body language of the horse and the way he did it.
Yeah, the way he did it, and a going away winner, and now from post 9, a nice test for this one, right? I mean, it's even though it is just a qualifying event, and people generally play nice out there, this is still a nice test to see this horse lead from the outside post and see how he handles that.
Ian Moore be the first one out with the number 2 Stu's Watching. Ian will be driving. He trains this guy for the Ratchford Stables of North Sydney, Nova Scotia. He's Watching colt, brother to Jaden's Place, another familiar face on this particular circuit. And there's a look at that guy. Not a big colt, but a lot of the He's Watchings are a little bit on the diminutive side. Tattoo artist immediately comes to mind, and if Ian gets something even close to that talent level, I'm sure he'll be happy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and Jaden's Place, actually, Greg's one of my favorite horses on the circuit right now, doing really well in the claiming ranks, but certainly one that's come into his own as of late.
And you talk about that. I mean, just a mid-level raceway horse, a good one, very productive campaigner. And why do you have a soft spot for that guy?
Well, I mean, sometimes you cash a few tickets on him. That's where it usually begins. But no, I just like the way that he's a horse that's kind of been to a number of barns, but now he's kind of found his stride, and he maybe he needed to get down to the kind of the lower claiming ranks in order for him to find the winner's circle repeatedly. But he seems to try hard every single time he goes out on the racetrack. So lately, he's one that I can always back with confidence. So. A winner is a winner, right? So I sometimes look in these horses' pedigree, and you might not see the big dollar signs, the big events, but if horses are winning, that might be something I'm still okay with.
Yeah, and when we're, here on days like this and at this time of year with these youngsters, that's what everybody's thinking about, is that potential stakes champion, that big high-profile horse, and most of them are going to end up being just raceway horses at some point in their career, and you learn to appreciate those hard hitters that race over the course of several seasons. They maybe move around from barn to barn, track to track, and just show up and do their job every week. And yeah, I've got a few of those old favorites myself. But let's take a look at our field for the final of 14 here today. This will be our final day of baby race coverage for this season, as we get ready to embark on the Ontario Sire Stakes season next weekend, and of course the lucrative Grand Circuit Stakes season will be just around the corner as well. The last one on the track, you get a look there, James McDonald and Silk Road Smash, and I'm sure James was excited about the performance a week ago, and for a driver like him, a young guy that this is a fun time of year where you're wondering what kind of lineup am I going to have this summer. That's got to be real exciting when you jump up on one behind that in the baby races.
Oh, yeah, looks like he's got several of them as well. And we were talking about hot hands earlier. How about the way James has been driving at Mohawk Park? I mean, there's been multiple nights where he's put on a clinic. 5 wins, just incredible stuff from James, and glad to see that he's having the success that he's had.
All right, let's go back up to Mark McKelvey while we have a moment prior to the start of our 14th and final.
Yeah, here's a look at that 13th qualifier order of finish. Google My Chrome was 2nd. JS Love Them Lady 7th. Unlaced was 9th. Sugar Daddy Controls was 4th. Sports Section was your winner. Then we go to Golden Ticket 5th, Masked Man 3rd, Gold Rush Sealster 6th, and Fox Valley Carlin was 8th. A 156 and 4 mile, 27 and 3 home, I should say. A very strong performance from Sports Section, and as we mentioned, had to deal with that interference in the third quarter. So a nice performance there for Sports Section. Louis Waugh for trainer Jared Bako.
We are moments away from the 14th and final on what has turned out to be a nice Friday morning here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, the second of our 2 days of baby races for this weekend. A big thank you to all of our viewers today across a variety of platforms, for everybody who took a moment to comment and send us a question or let us know where they're watching in from today. We appreciate that. And don't forget, following the show today, we're going to be picking 5 names at random to take home a Winback Farm baseball cap. Check out our social media page, the COSA-TV Facebook page, and we will post those names a little bit later this morning following today's broadcast. There's a quick glance again at the field for today's 14th and final, and can Silk Road Smash come back and duplicate what he did a week ago, or perhaps even step up? The Miller Farms Gallucci combination already with a winner earlier today. They'll look to double up with one that was so impressive a week ago. One more time, up to Mark McKelvey for the call.
The 14th and final on this now Friday afternoon here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. A field of 9 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. One is Cobra Kai, Shanghai Phil colt, owned by Kelly Waxman, trained by Greg McNair, Doug McNair steers, a $19,000 yearling. 2 is Stu's Watching, a He's Watching colt owned by Ratchford Stable. Trainer driver is Dr. Ian Moore, $32,000 yearling. 3 is Thornbury, a sports rider colt owned by John Copus Stables, Clay Horner, and Dry Bar Stables. John Copus trains Chris Christophorou in the bike, a $26,000 yearling. 4 is Final Cheese Recipe, Better Than Cheddar gelding, owned by Kim and Dan Sargent, trained by Blake McIntosh, Jody Jameson drives. 5 is Sport Addiction, a sports rider colt owned by SNR Racing Stable, David Nickel and Stanley Zipkin, trained by Renee Dion, Sylvain Filion drives, $37,000 yearling. 6 is Supervise the Moment, a Control the Moment colt, owned by Ronald Nobes and David Frey. Frey trains, Travis Cullen drives. 7, Whiskey Break is a sports rider colt, owned and bred by Bill Maines and Bill Cripps. Gerald Lilly trains, Phil Hudon drives. 8 is Noble Intentions, a gelded son of Sunshine Beach, owned and bred by Robert Burgess. Carmen Osciello trains, Jonathan Drury will steer. And to complete the field, number 9, Silk Road Smash, a gelded son of Better's Delight, owned and bred by Millar Farms, trained by Nick Gallucci. The driver is James McDonald. Field of 9 for the 14th. Starting gate swings into the stretch, and here they come. And they're off and pacing. Several levers here as Supervise the Moment, Whiskey Break, and Silk Road Smash all hustle from the center to the outside. Thornbury is into that early mix. At the rail, Cobra Kai tries to hold ground. Stu's Watching is right beside him. Then we go to Final Cheese Recipe, who will be followed into the turn by Noble Intentions, and your trailer is Sport Addiction. The leader will be Whiskey Break to the opening quarter, and it was paced in 28 and 3. So Whiskey Break will lead him into the backstretch. Supervise the Moment is in second. Silk Road Smash is third. Here on the outside comes Final Cheese Recipe, moving for Jameson. Inside fifth is Thornbury. Then we go to Cobra Kai, who is followed by Stu's Watching, Noble Intentions, and your trailer is Sport Addiction. It's a long second quarter journey here towards the top for Final Cheese Recipe, who continues to march on the outside, is now up into second, a length and a half from the good as they come to the midway point, and it was Whiskey Break there in 58 and 4. 30 and 1 in the second quarter. On to the final turn they go, and we've got plenty of action here now. 5 in, 4 out, 5/8 of the mile complete. Whiskey Break might be taking a break now because he is stopping on the front. Going by is Final Cheese Recipe. Also coming on by on the outside is Stu's Watching. Advancing Noble Intentions. Whiskey Break backing up, and that is real bad news for Supervise the Moment and Silk Road Smash. They'll finally get a chance to get to the outside and move around that stopping horse. 3/4, 129 into the stretch, and the leader became Final Cheese Recipe, trying to fight off Stu's Watching. Coming through now is Noble Intentions between rivals. On the outside, Thornbury is surging on by, and Thornbury powers to the lead with 1/8 of a mile to go. It's Thornbury on top. Here comes Sport Addiction now for Filion. That one was last in the early going, and Sport Addiction's coming on the outside and reaching up. Sport Addiction over Thornbury. Third appeared to be Stu's Watching from Supervise the Moment, 157 and 2.
Well, an interesting 14th and final, to say the least, and with the horse on the front letting go on the final turn there, really caused a lot of confusion in behind, and unfortunately getting the worst of it was Silk Road Smash, the horse that we were looking to see come back and maybe step up the time here today, and we weren't really sure what to expect. And I'm not sure what the Connections do from here. No concern about the horse certainly, but finished up, just searching for room and had all kinds of pace and never really got a chance to stretch his legs today. So it'll be interesting to see if they drop in the box. I suspect they probably will, but time will tell. Sport Addiction, though, an impressive effort. Handled conservatively, taken to the back here, and good back half speed to sweep the field for the victory.
Yeah, came around them, and did so well. But I'll tell you one thing, Greg, as a horse player, I get excited after seeing a treble trip like that. It's going to be real hidden in the program. You're not going to really see, what kind of a trip the Silk Road Smash got there when you read the program page. So first time out for him, if they do drop him in the box, I'll be hoping that a lot of people may take a look at that line and think it wasn't very good, when in actuality it was rock solid.
Yeah, and you know what? Back in our younger days, it would have been even more so. But now, the fact that, hundreds and hundreds of people are watching these races online today and will have seen that firsthand. It won't be as hidden as it once would have been, but you're right. Yeah, if you just pick up a program next week, it looks at first glance like the horse didn't fire or whatever the case may be, and no, he was raging with pace, just absolutely nowhere to go. And I think at a certain point, driver James McDonald realized, hey, nothing's going to open up here, so it is what it is, and just one of those things in a kind of a strange set of circumstances in the finale. But the Sports Writer Colts 1-2 in our 14th and final. Let's go back up to Mark one more time, and we'll see if he's got that rundown from the 14th and final before we wrap up.
Yeah, here's the rundown from the finale. Cobra Kai was 7th, Stu's Watching 3rd, Thornbury 2nd, Final Cheese Recipe was 8th, Sport Addiction was your winner in 157-2, Supervise the Moment was 5th, Whiskey Break 9th, Noble Intentions 4th, and Silk Road Smash was 6th. Sport Addiction was last at the half, ends up being first to the line, 157-2, Sylvain Fillion for trainer Renee Dion. That'll do it from up here, guys. Enjoyed it this morning, and it's time to get down to business, get these rookies under the light. We've seen a few of them after last night, more tonight, and looking forward to the start of the OSS season. So thanks for being here with us, guys. It was a lot of fun, and I'll send it down to you for the final word.
Thank you, Mark. Great job as always, and I know he'll be busy this weekend. We'll see Mark when we join you for our next COSA-TV live broadcast, and that'll be coming up a week from Sunday from Clinton Raceway with this year's edition of the Kin Pace. Greg Blanchard and Robert Reed Jr., we've been on the desk with you here throughout the day. Robert, just your quick thought, your overview of the day and what impressed you the most?
Well, I thought there was some real nice horses throughout the day. I would say most impressive, though, I'm going to have to go back to Lions Lou again. I mean, I'd love to go with one of the Ontario sired horses, but Lions Lou, a really impressive performance. Also, we saw Macho Martini's little brother turn in a good one as well. Looking forward to see him make his debut. That's Drinks at Home. Can't wait to see him and what path they take for him, probably to the OSS Gold after that performance.
Yeah, I would think so as well. And I concur in your assessment. Lions Lou, really impressive effort, 53-4, and the fastest 2-year-old winner of the season so far here. We couldn't let you go without asking you to put your handicapping hat on for tonight, because we have some viewers today that I'm sure will be tuning in and playing along tonight from home. Something to think about tonight on the Mohawk card. Is there a horse you like or a particular wager?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? We're going to get kicked off real early in the card at Mohawk Park tonight. It's a busy night for me. I've handicapped all 11 cards in the Horse Players Journal at Mohawk Park. My best bet, though, is in the first race, number 2, Rendezvous. No chance last time. Came home in 54-1. I think that she finds the winner's circle for the second time in 3 starts tonight with Louis-Philippe Blas and Meg Crone. And you know what? If you want to play a double or a pick 5, I can't wait to see Fashion Frenzy make his sophomore debut tonight in the second race, winner of the OSS Gold Super Final last year. I think this one comes out at the gate with a good effort.
Yeah, it was kind of an up and down season for that one last year, but ended on the right note, and I agree that's one that we're looking forward to watching, so thank you. And folks can also catch you on the Grand River simulcast show as well, offering analysis of that product. And no one watches the races closer than this guy, so definitely some good information for you. As mentioned, we're going to announce the winners of our Winback Farm baseball caps following the show, so check out our COSA-TV Facebook page, and we'll have the names posted there coming up shortly. Don't forget, we're back with another season of live event shows on COSA-TV as well. And here's a look at the upcoming schedule for this year. Thrown a little bit out of whack from what it originally was because of the pause in racing that we had recently, but nonetheless, we're looking forward to bringing these events and more to you this season. It all starts with a Kin Pace at Clinton on July 4th. We'll be at Hanover, Grand River, Georgian Downs, and of course here at Woodbine Mohawk Park and other venues as well throughout the season. Make sure to visit us online, COSATV.ca, for more information. Thank you so much again for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and we'll see you next time on COSA TV.